a shop on the edge of town. Bottles bubbling, shades of brown. With a wink, he'll sell you dreams. Potion man's got magic schemes. Potion man with your reasonable price. Mixing spells and a pinch of spice. Magic scrolls if you're feeling bold. A wizard's heart, a story untold. Behind the counter his cauldron steams. A dash of hope, a pinch of dreams. He hums a tune as he brews the night, turning darkness into light. Potion man with your reasonable price. Mixing spells and a pinch of spice. Magic scrolls if you're feeling bold. A wizard's heart, a story untold. He'll fix your luck with a crimson brew, or sell a scroll to make skies blue. In his hands the world takes form, a potion to weather any storm. Late at night when the shop is dim, he whispers secrets to the wind. Potion man with his careful art, brewing wonder straight from the heart. Potion man with your reasonable price. Mixing spells and a pinch of spice. Magic scrolls if you're feeling bold. A wizard's heart, a story untold. Hey, hey.
Why, hello everyone, and welcome back to another live stream. I'm your hosting guide, Zollin Ironshield, and today, my friends, we continue on our adventures in the brand new Kingdoms of Harad. Now, I'm at the Christmas Yule Festival here today. We're having there's a lot of people here hanging out today, so this is where I'm starting, but we're going to go over to Harad. We're going to continue the story. There are a couple fun little things I want to show you real fast. I got the Yuletide steed. A couple of my kitchen members got it, like, on the first roll, which was awesome. Very, very happy for them. But I thought, well, let me see how many I have to do to, like, get it, right? So if you guys are, you could only get the Christmas one. There's a bunch of things you could earn for Christmas, okay? There's a ton of stuff. And you can look at the Yuletide, in fact, I'll link it later if you need it, guide that they made for the official site. But the one I'm talking about is specifically, I will show you the mount right now, but it's from the Hobbit presents. So you have to roll technically from the gold one. So I rolled I'm like, let's see how many I get. Which, by the way, it actually drops a lot of, like, decently good things. You know, you get, like, a bunch of virtue experience and things like that. So it wasn't a, you know, I rolled about, so I think it was just under 200 mithril coins. I had them, so I was like, well, might as well try. And I got me a bunch of cool stuff. But I also got the dog that you can only get from the Yuletide thing, and I got the horse. So cool, awesome, but that seemed like a decently average thing. Really, in LOTRO, these are nice, and they're fun daily things, and if you're a VIP, you get the gold one. You'd have to be a VIP, I think, a subscriber, but these are not, like, important to LOTRO. Like, you don't have to do these. These are, like, fun extra things, okay? It's not like something you're, like, kind of forced to do to roll those, okay? I just want to make sure newer players know that is not something, it's not like, oh, you have to roll boxes. No, you really don't. I just did it because I thought it'd be fun to figure out how many. Again, I have a few, you get a free one every few days for the gold one, and you get a every day on the silver one. A couple of my kitchen members got it, only in a few days, right, of just during it. But I wanted to make sure to get it, I wanted to show you, and I really like it because it's the same as the regular Clydesdale that came with the supporter pack, right, which I know a lot of you really like this horse. Fun fact, I was talking to my sister, who's kind of a horse expert. There's horses all over the place. The Clydesdale has to kind of be these colors. So the other one's like some kind of draft or something. And to be fair, they don't call it a Clydesdale. They call it a something draft, right? It's a Homestead Steed here, but the regular one. But the new one, the Christmas one, which I just got, which I'd like to show you real fast, and then we'll get into our main storytelling. You want to jump ahead with the, little thing at the bottom? Go for it. That's totally up to you, but we're going to have fun either way here today. So it is the new Yule. I think it's called Yule. Never mind. It's not called Yule. It's the Snow Dusted, I believe. There it is. Snow Dusted Draft Steed. So they do call it a Draft Steed. So they don't say Clydesdale, which is good. Also, yeah, so there it is. This is the new one. It's pretty much the same model, which I love this horse model. I think it just looks fantastic. Yeah, so anyway, that is pretty darn cool. You know what, let me double check something real quick and make sure I am streaming for you guys. Yes, in the high definition. Good, we are. That guy just walks through my horse. Dude, come on, personal space. But yeah, it looks really nice. This is the new one. So again, was not told to tell you guys about this or anything, but as your hosting guides on Ironshield, I like to let you know if there's something going on. So you can only get this one from the Hobbit presents. All right, this guy needs to give my horse some space. But it looks really nice. It's a really nice. It's fun to have one that doesn't have all the tack on it, and it just has like a pretty matte, or saddle cover thing. My sister is the expert at this stuff. In fact, fun fact, my main horse, which I always ride, which is this one, right? My sister was explaining to me yesterday how the tack they have on here is actually very accurate. There's a few things that aren't, and I'm just going to have fun real quick telling you because she gave me all the details. So pretty much this thing here is actually for pulling a very heavy load, right? This thing around the neck. So it's like he's ready to be hooked up to pull something instead of just ride like a regular horse. So that's what this middle part here is. I forget what the name is, but I'm just going to throw that out there. All the other tack she said is very accurate. She said one thing that was a little weird is the thing on the cheeks is kind of doesn't make sense. This lower cheek one right here. And she said this connecting one along the neck isn't really, there's not really a point. But the idea is like you'd have reins connected up. So that was kind of like, she thought maybe that's what they did to make it look nice for the game, which makes sense. This thing on the nose, she told me, is super accurate. It's actually a special thing designed for draft horses. When they're pulling thousands of pounds, it makes sure that the weight doesn't hurt their nose from their tack. So there's actually like a pad underneath there, and it is kind of bulgy, you can see. So she said that looks really good. She said the saddle was all really good, except that it was a little bit dramatic to have 3 of these under the stomach. But there are fancy setups that look fancy that have like multiple just to look cool in real life. So again, they're pretty accurate. And she said even this thing on the butt here is where you connect stuff. And these are like little clips where you connect things, weight to hang over the back of the horse because they're very strong there. So she said that is actually really accurate, even this little thing on the back. So cool. Good job, Standing Stones and LOTRO. They did a really good job with this horse. Not to mention, she also said it's very impressive how the little run and, all the different animations. And of course, we got the little walk here. But, if it is, I wish we could get this as a war steed, and have the different speeds, because the war steed is very accurate on the different speeds that you can go. And the different versions of movement for horses, right? Trot, run, gallop, all those different terms. Anyway, okay, there you go. There's your lesson. I'm done with that. Let's move on, guys. But anyway, welcome to the stream, everybody. What's up, Ryson? Hey, Terrence, what's up? What's up? Chumley got the steed today. She just told me in the kinship chat like 2 minutes ago. She got the winter one. So why don't we go ahead and bring the winter one up so I can use it during the stream. Let's leave it on my bar here before I forget. Collection. I love this one, but why don't we also have... Let's see. There. We're going to do that. Have a temporary another option here. So I will use that one today. All right. So anyway, with that, my friends, I have a wonderful bunch of snacks in front of me. My family made me some stuff. I have apple cider, and I have some delicious, like, I don't know, cinnamon something. You guys need to get some snacks, right? My mom just made this. So this is a great day. We're going to have a lot of fun today. So cheers. So, and I also have my sister had made some eggs and tortillas. So we got all sorts of yummy things here for my late breakfast. Second breakfast is just throwing that out there. Got it right. All right. So with that, let's continue our story. So where we left off in the last one, I'm continuing from my first look day, by the way. Let's go ahead and bring up the Song of Waves and Wind. And we are going into... That is not the right one. Clearly. You know what? Let me just open them all up. We'll just look at level. I always end up doing this. I always forget. So let's add that one. Now, I'm pretty sure we... There it is. There it is. This one. Nothing for nothing. Okay. That, there it is. Under song, yeah. Song Wave. That's where we're at. Okay. So this is where we left off. So we're going to go ahead and travel back to Sulmadash, and we will check it out. Now, in this event today, I have a couple hours here to stream, and I'm very excited to do so. But I'd like to focus myself here because Zollin tends to go squirrel and work on other things during his event. So what we're going to do to keep on that is that I'm going to try very hard to just do the voiceovers, depending on how my voice does today. I am just mostly recovered from the cold I had over the last 2 weeks, which was a doozy. But I'm going to try to stick to the main chapter and the ones that say part. So there's some of them that save like part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're like in the area and they're a big continuous quest. I'm not really necessarily going to do like every quest. I'll probably go back later myself and do that. In the future, for those who are like, I want to see every quest, I will get through every quest in my main LOTRO Tale series and adventure series. Okay, that will happen. It might be a long time, but I will get to that point where I do every little side quest. But today, let's focus on the main story, because everyone tells me the main story is amazing, so I really want to get through it. I have seen a little bit farther than Zollin is at, but not enough, and I didn't read the quests before. I kind of didn't want to spoil myself. I wanted to have the reaction with you guys, so we are going to do that today. So let's go ahead and continue back to... We're in the second area. That's where I am, so I need to go over to Ingar Garash. Okay, so to the horsey person. Alright. The music is pretty actually around here. It's very pretty. Let's put the sound effects there. Ambience, we'll leave it 75. Combat's at 40. Music's at 35. I think it's a good level of music right now. So we'll just leave it where it is.
Lead us, Mudflint.
Alright, let's go to, again, I just said it. There it is. Alright, that's what we're traveling to. So we'll continue the sword thing. That's our goal. Oh, and a little kinship notice here. Okay. Usually if someone is sent mail and they don't ever open that mail, it gets sent back to you after like a month. So, if you join the kinship new, we're playing on the server Glain, you're all welcome. But just a little side note, make sure you go into your mailbox if you're a new player. Go to social, go to mailbox, or if you're not a VIP, you will have to go and click on a mailbox at your house or somewhere in town. They're all over the place. And bring up your mail and double check, because there's a few people here. Just gonna point it out here. Gounder, maybe he already saw it. Maybe he didn't open on this character. But when I sent the welcome mail and it sends back, that means unless it glitched, maybe he did open it. Okay, I just want to point out, maybe they did, maybe it glitched. But usually it means they haven't opened it after like a month. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Check it out, Rothmere, which I've seen them in Discord, so I think they have the info. It's all the welcome information. We have details for you guys and things like that. And then Broski, which I definitely have seen around. So maybe you guys just didn't open it, or again, this is not. I'm trying to like single everybody out in this stream. Maybe it glitched. Maybe they opened it and it just sent it back to me anyway. But usually it means you haven't opened it. But yeah, so anyway, I just recommend checking those things out when we send them to you. Even if you just click them and say, okay, you know, read it, delete, you know, that's fine. We don't really have any like extreme rules in our, if you ever want to play with us, it's more moderate things like be nice to people. Here's the details. If you want to join our Discord, here's this, you know, here's where we have housing areas. It's helpful things like that. That's what the information is. I am going to turn down the music to a little bit because it seems a little bit on the loud side. So we'll go like right there. All right, so continuing on.
Thank you for bringing me this.
All right, thank you for bringing me this meat and these eggs. Oh, yes, here you go. Delicious egg burrito. I will ensure they are properly stored for the days ahead. In your stomach? No. All right, here we go. So if you guys kind of don't remember where we left off on the quests, after this stream, you can go back and do the prequels.
I dispatched some soldiers to compensate the herdsman at Sormidan for his cattle.
You remember that her soldiers like killed his cattle? Let the folk there see the Shara of renewed Hamat is not like the other rulers with whom they had dealings. I thank you both for your words and for the deeds you have done for me on this day and others. All right, so me and her convinced the main leader. We're like, whoa. You can't just have your men go kill a bunch of guys' cattle and then just be like, yeah, good luck with that. You know, yeah.
I'm pleased as well. I believe this is how my mother would have resolved the situation.
Nothing is given for nothing, but especially not loyalty. That is earned. Yes.
This
exactly
Kinta elf has come in search of you.
Zollin, he spoke with Shara Mazadi of a contagiousness in the forest to the north, and his people option to Urdak. She invited him to join her army, but he says you and he have urgent business elsewhere? Yes. Ah, there's our Mr. Guide, Elfman.
Glorfindel and Inkanush have gone ahead to Zajana, and they sent me to find you.
I love the Glorfindel. The way you said it. It's great. Glorfindel and Inkanush have gone ahead to Zajana, and they sent me to find you, Zollin. If you have resolved the matter here to your satisfaction, let us make the city. I will tell you what I know of its history this way. The road to Zajana lies northwest of here. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you. All right, let's get on our new little snow-dusted steed here. Oh, you know what I forgot to show you guys? I forgot to show you the dog. Let me show you the dog, since I mentioned it. Is it also called the snow? I got the Grim here. Me and my friend Riku, our officer in our kinship, also got it. It's kind of hilarious because when you walk around, it's a snowman spinning. And then when you stop, he kind of like gets like drained, like he's getting flushed. He's like, oh no! I don't know, it's probably a little glitch to have to fix, but I think it's kind of hilarious actually. But he's like, no, help me! It's pretty funny. All right, let's go into the collection here, and I want to show you the dog. Let's see. Can I just search dog? Oh no, I've got too many pets, guys. It's crazy to me. Okay, this is crazy, right? How many pets are in this game? So I only have 96 out of 457. I'd like just to know, I collect whatever I find, right? So there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of cosmetic pets in this game. So if you are a collector of pets, of fine pets, you will not have any shortage in Lord of the Rings Online, or mounts for that matter. There it is. This is the dog. Oh, cool! He's huge! What? He's huge! He's as tall as me! Well, aren't you a good doggy? Oh my gosh, he kind of reminds me of my dog Brody. my panda dog. Not exactly. It's a different breed. But he has that same like happy look on his face. It's a happy dog. That's great. Gosh, he is a huge dog. Whoa. That's awesome. That is so awesome. I'm getting sidetracked, guys. I told you I'd do it. There's another item I got too, by the way, which is a gift selection box of past winter event things. So they will put these into like the future winter events. Probably will go into this box later. Oh, I just clicked it and opened it up. The red cluster high bench, Gondorian couch, cool. I just heard a ha ha ha. Oh, someone has cheered me on. Hello there. We'll give him a wave. Hello. Yeah, I got a cheers Zollin. I thought I heard a dwarven cheer. All right, so we got the snow-dusted farm yard horse, which I think I got this one too, which I believe is the one I already have, right? Oh, you know what? No, this one, excuse me, this is the pet version. I forgot I got this one. So I'm going to go ahead and learn this one too. Snow-dusted farmyard. Let's look at the pet version of the horse. I forgot there was another thing. I'm glad I looked. Let's go ahead and look up the pet version. All right, so there's the pet version. It actually has a different color for its fur color, and it has the little thing. It's really cool. And if you notice, it is smaller. I'm not quite sure why some of these are smaller. Some of them are full size when you get the other one, but I mean, it's kind of adorable. So I would love it if they made it where pets could follow you while you're on your mount. I know that there's probably a reason for that technically in the game, but it would be cool. But the good news is when you get off, he just shows back up. Ta-da! Music is really pretty in this new area. I haven't really had the music on loud enough to kind of realize it was there before. Hello, Raven. Welcome to the stream. Wow, it's really pretty. I like the dog, though. I really like the new dog. That's really, like, this dog is awesome. All right, well, we'll go ahead and leave that there. And, oh, yes, I remember what I was doing. I wanted to show you the, there we go, it's this one. This is the one where you get to choose something of the past. So I get the elk festival spirit one. I have the goat of winter cheer. I have the winter hobby. And then there's like housing items. But I think before I choose, I'm probably going to go through them. Look at on the LOTRO wiki. I highly recommend this if you have a choice like this and you're a new player or you just don't know. Like, again, I'm not a new player, but you just don't know what they all look like because there's like thousands of cosmetic things in this game. Just go to LOTRO wiki. Look, check them out there. The frost. Oh, actually, I kind of want that as a pet. That might be my choice right there. It's like the frost cow with the big horns. Technically the same animal that Boromir's horn is made out of in the lore, but at least from LOTRO's, it is the same animal name, but LOTRO's version of the animal, how they designed it, because Tolkien never really showed us exactly what it looked like. All right, so anyway, so what is this one, by the way? Oh, it's got a statue of snow-laden statue of Gilgalad. Cool. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go look at some of this stuff later. That's really cool. All right, we'll put that away for now. And we will go ahead and move on with our adventures. So we're gonna ride over to the main capital. And well, actually, technically we have to go out here anyway, so I'm glad I did. So again, these are the new lands. If you are brand new and you didn't see my other streams, this is the second area. There's an ancient fortress there. Probably of Morgoth. Yeah, it's really a beautiful area. So there's one of the new kingdoms of Harad. Wink, wink. It's really cool. This city is legit. I really like this city. Getting chased by a terrorizing raptor. Territorial raptor. I like that they call the bird a raptor because technically that is correct. term, even though I just think of the dinosaur. Also, I need to switch to my two-hander. I just realized. It's going to take me forever to kill anything otherwise. I'll never die with my 500,000 health now. I don't even have very good gear. But, look at my happy dog. Look at him. He's such a happy dog. I love the dog. What is his name? Ivory? Is that, I guess? Yeah. Maybe we give him a different name. Maybe I just name him Brody. There's a way that you do /rename pet, I think it is, and then you put the name in. Let's see if I'm right. /rename space pet name. Maybe it's pet rename. Let's try this. Okay, that's not the right command. I will remember in a moment here. Let's see if it's, let's do /pet space rename Brody. Did that work? You cannot rename that. Oh. All right, I'll figure that out. I know there's a way to do it. I'll show you guys later. I probably have a guide video on how to do it. I gotta go watch my own guide video. Oh man, it's so funny how you forget those things so quick.
You must excuse me, for my knowledge of the histories of men is sparse.
Sparse, but what I know of them is I've learned from the wagging tongues of my captors in Ironshield. But this must suffice. The city you see before us was once named Jihad, the City of Gates, but with the passage of time, the name gradually changed, becoming Zahana, when a great conflagration of unknown origin burned much of the old city to the ground. The ruling Ililibi, excuse me, these words are gonna, I'm gonna do my best, guys. It's hard to keep it flowing when I'm trying to do like sort of like imitate the voice actor at the beginning, and then I'm like trying to read it fluently, and then I get these words that hit me that are just like made up Harad words. It's like, whoa, how do I say that correctly? And I'll do my best. The ruling Ibili, or Ibili? I don't know. It sounds pretty silly, but I think it's Ibile, or elders, established the first Triumvirate, a council of 3 to govern the reborn city. They gave it to the name of Zajana, City of Keys, to herald the dawning of a new era for the city of scholars. But Urdak hungered for the land and treasure, and what empire seized the city more than once, 120 years ago. They changed its name again. Now it is Jana, a puppet fiefdom held beneath the Hul's distant boots. Gladly, the story does not end there. Let us proceed to Knan Antax. Oh, goodness. The overgate of the city, and I will tell you what happened only last year and continued to this day. All right, cool. So we're going to kind of learn the history of this area. This elf guide's being a great guide. I love it. He's talking about the history, and you know, that's pretty awesome. All right, I got a giant bumblebee attacking me. Again, I'm gonna be skipping. There is a lot of quests to do up here. There's an area you do quests, and technically we can get to those next in the story chapter. I will probably go back through myself and run through them because I want some of the coins and the reputation of the areas. So I'll do like fast run myself, just playing later. Maybe I'll make that an adventure playlist video if you guys want. You'll have to let me know in the comments or let me know here in the live stream. But oh, thank you. Keith B in Twitch said it's /cpet rename. Ah, thank you. Okay, let's try it. Let's do it. It's cpet because it's different than like the regular pet. I think I was doing the command for the pet with the lore master. All right, so cpet rename. I think he has to be out. So let me make sure he's out here. And then it should remember. Okay. For some reason, it immediately despawned. Did I click it twice? Alright, so rename, and I'm gonna name him Brody. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now he's, thank you for that. Thank you. Very helpful. All right, there we go. Now we got Brody on our side. I want an actual, technically there is a sheepdog, but it's not the right colors of Brody, because Brody has like those panda colors, like kind of like black, white, and gray. Look at this city, you guys. The gated Vale of Zajana. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's huge. And also an amazing view of the background over there. Amazing view. All right.
This is the Overgate, one of the 2 famous gates that guards the pass through Morjana.
The other lies in the southern wall of the city that blocks the road to the desert kingdoms beyond. But, as I told you, I would finish the tale. With so many of the soldiers of Ordak and Shagana fighting away in the north during the last year, the people of Janan rose against their oppressors. During the Scholars' Revolt, sometime called the Second Blue Mutiny, they seized control of the western side of the city and pushed east until they were stopped by the remaining Odaki garrison. Widespread fighting and ensuing fire split the city in twain, and it remains so today. Now for the free portion of the city is once again called Sajana, and it is ruled by a group of 5, the Door Wards. The Odaki-controlled district of the city remains Jan, and a new Triumvirate. I'm not saying this word right. It's Triumvirate governs there. Whatever. I'm going to ruin that word. We're going to move on. They believe this second Blue Mutiny will end as did the first, crushed quickly by the Odak 100 years ago. But as of yet, it has not. The city remains divided. Let us continue onward into the city. Don't worry about that word. I'm going to later look back and go, oh my gosh, it was that word. You know? Like simple eye rolls, but that's how it goes. I'm sorry if you all understand what word it is, and I'm just totally butchering it. But moving on, welcome to the great city here. We'll not dwell too much on that. Look at that. So this is the new city. Look at that sunrise there. Is that now awesome or what? So I'm a really big fan of this new city. I think it just looks really, really cool. Just in general. Now, I already have the horsepower person.
Riches chase you, friend.
It's a really cool... Whoa! Whoa, sir, calm down there. Yeah, so... Zajana is a very cool city. So here's our friend here.
Despite its tumultuous history, Inkanush greatly desired to consult the libraries of Zajana.
For its scholars records much throughout the years that can be found in no other archives. He and Glorfindel, as he says, have likely gone to search these troves for knowledge they seek.
We should be safe to explore the city.
As long as you remain away from the Odaki-controlled, the, elevated district on the southern rise, while not climb to the west and look up at the commons of the city, Zollin. It will do you some good to learn the layout of Zajana. Afterwards, we will meet up with Glorfindel and Ikanush and determine our next course. Alright. Yeah, look at that. This sunrise over the mountain in the back looks really cool, doesn't it? Yeah, that's so cool. Definitely a very cool city. I'm a fan. I'm giving you guys visuals here without my camera just so you can kind of enjoy the aesthetic. I am your host and guide after all, even though this elf is kind of doing the guiding right now. I'm doing the hosting. So that is the other district to the south. And part of the back of that is controlled by the Udaki still. But this whole main part of the city and this main upper area here with the palace is controlled now by these 5 key holders, which are kind of basically like a prefect of leadership that now, you know, kind of have a somewhat nice government, let's put it that way, instead of a dictator of the Udaki Empire. And they were only able to do it because of the war that was happening up north with us. So it kind of broke their strengthhold. Alright, so we'll go ahead and run up here. Alright, so here is... This lady has a daily because I have food I can turn in for her, so we can turn that in. I'm not going to go ahead and read that one. I'm supposed to look out at the beautiful city, which, by the way, I think I was supposed to do over there. So let me go. Oh, apparently I can't go over that bush. Let me go back real quick here. Is it here I'm supposed to look out? No. Here? There it is. A bridge to the Ordaki-controlled district is beyond the arch to the south. Alright. Cool. So now, we need to go talk with... Walk north into the Scholars District and find the stage. Alright, so we need to go this way. This is a beautiful area. By the way, there is a quest to go and find a bunch of kitty cats all around, and I thought it was extremely clever to get you to explore the city, because it is a very big city, and there are places that you need to go, but in reality, you don't need to go everywhere, because that would be annoying if they made it like that. But they wanted people to actually look at all this hard work they did, which, like, I would like to point out, since I've always been the guy who goes through and explores every little detail, just all the work they put into, like, this stuff, right? Like, so again, I love that the well actually has water in it, right? You got the whole well system here, the little pulley. You even got these little pretty streets. There's like no one even here, and it's just like, you know, there's a little water thing. It's just cool, you know. It feels lived in to an extent. Now, one thing I noticed in this city compared to the Umbar is they put a lot less NPCs, but I think that was a good decision, because the bottom line is there was just like all this fighting, so I don't think everyone would be outside, and from a lore perspective. And the other thing is, I think that many NPCs was maybe making you lose frames slightly, but they still are here. They're here. Like, here's all the NPCs, right? They're just chilling. So there's definitely people. It definitely feels lived in, and they did a good job with that. So, yeah, I think it's awesome. I think they did a really, really good job. So let's talk to this nice Mr. Bartender here. Mr. Healer.
Friend.
So, you know, funny enough, I do not have the new drafts for, so I'm just going to buy them right now. Oh, wait, let's see. This one removes 1 fear, 30-second cooldown. What does this one do again? Removes it to 1 fear with a maximum strength. Oh, this is like an AoE? Forgot that. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to get these, because I literally realized I don't have any, so I'm just going to go ahead and buy from this nice man here in the stream. There we go. Now I have the correct kind of Healy heals. You know, kind of interesting. These are the old picture. Well, they're a little different, but they're a similar picture of how they used to be from like level 100, the pots. It's kind of giving me like a flashback. This is not a very good... Yeah, that's not as good as my crafted one, the other thing, so we won't use that. The music is very cool. It gives you the vibe of being in like that southern, it's almost like a Middle Eastern vibe. Alright, so we're going to do red, and then I usually from there I do fear, poison. There we go. We'll put those there. And let's go ahead and just put our shield spikes back, just so I don't forget. They'll go right here for now. Okay. Also, I got this cool cloak, which has like a snowman on it, which is kind of cool. Look at that. Look at that. It's a little snowman. So, All right. So here's the stage, which I just have a feeling, and I'm probably going to host something, but this is a really cool spot to host an event here on the server on Glamdring. So I'm sure other people will do it, but I will probably host something too. Maybe do some event here in the future. So keep that in mind. I mean, at the first moment I saw it, I was like, this is a cool spot for an event. It'd be really cool. So we'll look at the stage. Glorfindel sees you approach and calls a greeting. Oh, Zollin.
I see that Ulishar was able to find you.
Zollin.
I am glad.
I am glad. I have learned that the theater trope is about to perform an entertainment. Turkar's travelers, they are called, and if the talk I have overheard is to be believed, they are supposed to be quite skilled at their craft. But the wizard has little time for such things, and he wanted to inspect Kab Kitax, the Nethergate of Zajana, instead of waiting here for the show to begin. If you find him there, he will likely show you the fabled libraries of the city. I will tell you if Takar and his travelers live up to their reputation when we meet next. All right. Why a quest just popped up right over here? I have a quest right here. Oh, I have the cat quest, that's why. To find the cats. I do have the quest. Well, if I see the cats when I walk by, I'll pick them up, but or pet them, I guess. The quest is literally to go around and pet all the cats. That is the quest, which is hilarious. All right. Now, the only thing I'm worried about is I thought there was a multi-chapter quest from her. And I really would... Ah, there is. Oh, I really want to do this, part 3. Because this drops the good jewelry pieces. Where's that? Find within the... Oh, he's literally in here, part 3. Sweet. Nothing's wrong. Zollin remembered it at the perfect timing. It was all planned, guys, clearly. My dog is like, what is going on right now with my pet? He's like, Master. What are you doing, Master? Okay, all right. Out of the way, Brody. What is going on here? There we go. What in the... What are you doing, dog? Calm down. Your teleport powers are going beyond... This is scaring me now. You're scaring me. Alright, we may have to just turn off the pet here for a minute, because that is glitching out. Alright, I don't think we went to the right place for Gandalf, though. I don't think he's actually in here. But this guy right here...
That sounds like quite the journey you undertook to see me. I shall endeavor not to disappoint.
Now, how can I help you? Pestilence disease. Yes. That's a nasty business in Adicam. Affecting the bogs. I think I can help. Return outside. Okay. Now, there's a quest right here for this guy over here, and he wants you to, like, put flowers in these things and, like, set up this quest. I don't know if I want to pick it up right now. Let's see. I have a lot of empty quest room. You know what? I'll pick it up just to have it for later for myself. I'm not going to do it, though, in the stream right now. And... Now, there's actually some really cool spots in here, so I'd like to show you real quick, since we're streaming, that I really liked. So again, I thought this library was legitly cool. Like, it's a really cool place. Like, the wall art and stuff looks so cool. And all the library stuff. And there's some really cool, like, items, which I kind of, like, hope they'll have for your house. One of them is this right here. This thing's really cool. That'd be a cool house item. And then also, this is going to look straight out of a different video game. My friend thought I was playing a different video game when he saw this. Okay. A little scary looking. But it's like medical sheets, right? It's like, you know, doctors kind of learning about different medical things with drawings and stuff. But my friend, I thought I was like playing, I forget what game he said, because he saw just this image when I was streaming it the other day, just in Discord. He's like, "Oh, are you playing blah blah?" I'm like, "No, this is LOTRO." And he's like, "What?" So, yeah. So anyway, there's just some cool things in here that I thought were kind of cool to see. Cool items. All right. Now wait, did I need to read this? No, I didn't. Okay. Later on that one. All right. Continuing on our adventure. Hello, Alex. Nice. Crafting with your Dwarven Hunter. Very nice indeed. It's very important to get your crafting done. I've worked very hard on my crafting for my guys. I have maxed out Solmadesh, Metalsmith, Prospector, Tailor, and Jeweler, and I have also maxed out my Scholar, Farmer, Cook, and I think my Weaponsmith, and I think my Woodworker's almost done, and I almost finished my other, the Forester, is done.
Is there something you need?
We should not tarry long. The door wards are expecting us within. Sokor Raccoon.
The door wards have requested my presence. I aim to show them I mean them no harm, and rally their support in my hunt for Barshut.
I like the whole thing's voiced over. I'll take it. Okay, so this is why I like to do the parts. I do recommend, if you're playing through the new Harad story, you should do the ones that say parts after them. This one doesn't, but it's continuous of the part one. I don't know why it doesn't say part. But it leads you into these different stories.
The door wards have requested my presence.
Here we go.
I aim to show them I mean them no harm, and rally their support in my hunt for Barshut.
Come, they are awaiting us in the Sorakuna, which must be their, like, court. That's my guess. We must roleplay.
Mizadi, so-called Sharaf Matrinud. You have brought an army to our doorstep.
I mean you no harm,
It's hard to feel safe with a knife to your throat.
Rocharan, please, let her speak. Perhaps she has a reason for the knife, and a target for it, other than Zajana.
Quite right. I don't know your name.
I am Siraj, Master of Spears. That is Rocharan, Master of Scrolls. The one dressed so finely is Azagaya, Master of Scales. Mashur is our Master of Spirits. And Jarano is Master of Secrets. You spoke before we could properly introduce ourselves. Is that your custom in the north?
It is not. I have no interest in your land or this city.
I am from Odaki, and one they protect. Another from the north, a man named Barshud. An Odaki reported he was not seen far from here. The Odaki are not enemy, as I am sure you know. Their jeweled council controlled Zajana before we lifted their shackles. But just because your enemy is our enemy does not make us allies. I read something wrong there. We have a gift for you, a token of esteem from myself and the Hamath Renewed. Would you show it to them, friend? Yes. Zollin will go and get the gift. Picks up Zajani's sword. I think I interrupted it. There are those that would see the sword and understand it as a threat. It was not intended that way. I believe you, although others may not. This is just a lot of talking. If you want to show us you mean us no ill will, prove it to us. An excellent idea, Mashor. The Jeweled Council is still a thorn in our side. A third of the city is still under their thumb, and their 3 leaders have ambitions to retake all of Zajana. If you wish to be our ally, help us rid the threat of the Oradaki in Zajana, and we will consider an alliance with Hamat Renewed. I believe we should accept these terms. They are best for which we could hope for. The best which... blah, blah, blah. Yes. I agree with Numuru. We will show them via our actions that we mean them no ill will. Very well. I accept we prefer action to words. Speak with me after this meeting, and I may know people who know this Barshud. So again, I loved it how much of that was voiced over, but the over half of it wasn't, so that's where I come in. All right, so it's really hard to try to like change your tone on who's talking when you're trying to read it fast enough, because if you don't read it fast enough, those little like bars go away, then I have to like read it in the comments, and it just doesn't make it flow as nicely. So I just try to read through it really quick, best I can. So hopefully that was fun.
That could have gone better. But they will trust my actions, if not my words. Which I have tripped over once more.
Yeah, she's a little bit, she's definitely a little bit young and naive, but I think she's earnest in her story.
What say you, traveler?
Whoa, her voice changed. What the heck? I believe the Door Wards of Azagana is our best bet as an ally. We need to prove our worth to her, and we mean her no harm. Go to her and see if she has a task that needs doing. The Door Wards said we need to lead with actions. Well then, let our actions show our pure intentions. Seek out the Door Ward Azagana, Zollin, and do what she asks of you. I believe she will tell us what we need to know about Bashud. Cool. Oh look, there she is. That was easy. Hello, ma'am. We'd like to talk to you. I'd like to also point out that I also have blue and gold on. I do appreciate you guys' colors. I think they are the best colors. Okay.
If you want to prove your usefulness, I will not deny you that chance.
We have pushed the Ordaki back, but they are still a thorn in the side of Zajana. They are barricaded in the hall of Lajor and its immediate surroundings. And the Mizani claim to be a friend of Zajana. Friends do each other favors. Take out a number of the Ordaki near the hall, and I will be more friendly to both of you. Go kill people.
There is a brigand on the Great Road, one self-styled brigand king that I would have words with you about.
He calls himself Balak the Bold, brigand king of Harun Kana. He claimed the area south and west of Jajana and his kingdom. He has been harassing and attacking travelers on the road for a supposed taxes. This obviously cannot be allowed to continue. He is little more than an organized ruffian, despite his delusions of grandeur. There is a merchant who frequently travels through the area, Katal, who has asked for our aid in defeating Barlat and bringing peace to the Great Road. Will you meet with Katal? Sure, why not? I'm doing everything else. That seems like a good story one, so I'm gonna do that one.
What can I do for you?
Now this one, she has a history thing here. So... there is much to learn in the Kalamkile, which I believe is their library's name. You will wish to learn more about the Tarsari, yes? I believe there is an earlier history of Sajana and torches on the lineage of and formation. Look for the book, A History of Sajana. It should be in the south wing of a great red book in the second set of shelves. If you retrieve it, I will show you the selection referring to Tarsari. That's what I want to do, and I think it's kind of free loot because it's a really easy quest. So I'm just going to show you where the book is. I know I said I was going to do a bunch of side things, but this one's like free, so I just got to read this book. La la la, reading the history. Okay, boom. Uh-oh, I'm being attacked. How dare you? They're like, dwarf, you can't read that book. And I'm like, well, take this. And this. And shield smash. Yeah, not even a challenge. How do you think you're gonna beat someone that has 700,000 health? Counting the shield, 900. Also, I was way above them in levels. Hello, Dreadman! Yeah, Alex, no, it is a lot of work. Yeah, the crafting is a lot of work. I agree. But it is, like, fun, and I do find the crafting in LOTRO very relaxing. I do it when I'm, like, you know, just hanging out. I'm like, well, I'll watch a YouTube video and craft. I think it's fun. Okay, first things off, I want to switch to my two-hander, because I said I was going to do that, like, probably 40 minutes ago. And I didn't. So let me go ahead and just switch to that real quick. I usually switch before I switch everything, just because so it doesn't glitch out mine. Alright, and then we will go into... we'll go ahead and just stay with my regular colors here. Oop, there we go. Alright. Going into DPS, which is going to be a little messed up. I'm sorry my icons are missing. It's because I've leveled up and things have been changed and updated, so not everything has been put back yet. Just, you know, kind of like, again, these did not get put back yet either. I'll go ahead and put some of them back so it's not as frustrating to have missing ones, but I'm gonna have a couple missing ones just because I haven't gotten a new one yet. Like for example, this spot right here was my oh gosh, what are they called? It's the things that give you like a temporary like defensive buff or damage buff. I can't think of what it's called right now. Gosh dang it, I didn't remember what it's called. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's that little thing you can get in delvings. You can also get it from the real way to get it is from the called. Oh my gosh, I'm totally forgetting what they're called. Oh, I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, this is also kind of a free quest. She just wants you to run back and forth here. So I'm just gonna do it real fast.
Zara Zar Odan.
Technically, they're just talking about, like, you know, these
what can I do for you?
Gives you some free keys and reputation. Might as well do it. It's free stuff. Also, it also opens the daily to get keys. It's one of the dailies, so I actually have 5 of them, and I believe I have more of them in my inventory. I believe? Don't I have more of these? I do. There we go. Alright, now I can deliver these keys. Do I believe it's this person?
Silver into gold.
There we go. Sweet. Got another one of the dailies done. That's another one of the... There's different dailies all around the world. Once I know about all of them, and I can concisely get them into a nice little informational packet, I will turn that into a guide video. But until I'm at the point where I feel confident that I have all that, I am going to wait to make that. The LOTRO wiki does have a very good page already that explains where most of them are. So if you do want it right now as a newer player playing in the new area. By the way, I forgot to click on the book that was over here, so let me click on that real fast. Note read, you wish to learn more about the Tar. Find me in the yellow. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue the main chapter here. Find it. See where he is. Okay, he's at the end. So why don't we go and get Gandalf? And also let's go over here and just turn this in. We have to defeat the Odaki. So this one doesn't say a part on it, but this is the one that was continuous from the one that said part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one and continue it, just because I think it'll lead to the one that gives the really good piece of jewelry, which I don't know is great for a guardian, but it might be better, just flat stats for vitality for now until I get better stuff, because there's really not a lot of options yet. I have a feeling they're going to be adding a lot with the instances when they drop. Also, you can't get the delving gear yet, so that's a little bit funny, but... Alright, that's the guy we're going to talk to. Now, I see several quests here, so I might as well pick them up for later. I'm not going to do them right now, but...
Who has the best Shera in Sajana? It's Majarian. Of course, of course.
She didn't sound extremely confident about her stuff there. Here's one of the kitty cats. Give him a little pat on the head. It's honestly not a terrible idea for when I'm doing, if I'm close to the other quests, to just do them if I'm doing the chapter. So pretty much, if you're doing it correctly, you can actually slip. You can get all the quests done with the main chapter. So like I've said since I started my guides on this channel, when you're doing questing in Lord of the Rings Online, use the chapters, use the prologues, use the ones that have continuous things, or like, for example, in the New Kings of Harad, they have the ones that have parts, right? Use those, because that they usually lead you through, where they'll bring you to an area, you'll do 5 or 6 quests with that one, and then you'll be done, and then the chapter will lead you on to the next area. That's really, it's kind of like a guide, a built-in guide. So anyway, here is the area that they are keeping them in, basically. This is the part of the city they don't own. So these guys will attack me if they're here. Oh, someone has slaughtered them. Or they're not loaded. No, someone has definitely killed them all. Okay, there should be enemies here. Oh, there's some enemies. Okay, someone has just annihilated them all. All right, fight me. Yeah, never stood a chance. Okay. Why don't we go and just grab a big group of them since I'm higher level? And, alright, come with me. Everyone group up. Group up. I'm gonna do a family photo. I mean, family battle axe. It's a little dark. How many of these can I take at once? We're about to find out. Ow, my eyes! Why would you do that? Curse that sorcerer. Fine. They're like 7 levels underneath me. This dwarf just runs in and starts annihilating their whole force. Well, they're definitely not, you know, dwarf material. Alright, so I think that's defeat Ardaki forces. And why did that not count? Oh, I guess he only counts if you defeat him in the front area. Oops! Sorry, guess I slaughtered the wrong group of bad guys. My bad. So I guess I'm supposed to only beat them around here. So does it count if I go down this passageway? What the heck? They've all been defeated by somebody. Okay, they're respawning, it looks like. Let me see if I defeat this guy over here if it counts. Here they come. Okay, someone just came through and beat them all up, apparently. There we go, those are counting. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna have to sit here and wait for some respawns. Alright, well we're gonna take this moment for Zollin to be able to eat some of his actual burrito, which I've realized I've just totally forgotten about entirely. My egg breakfast burrito here. I realized I was getting hungry and I'm like, I thought I ate, and I'm like, oh no I didn't eat, I totally forgot. I just started doing voiceovers and having fun. Oh man. So we're gonna do that for a minute. Well, and we're gonna eat a burrito with one hand, and we're going to beat them up with the other hand. Okay. 4 more. Mm-hmm. And of course, the cat doesn't count. Well, a little bit challenging. The respawn times seem slower than they did in the release. I wonder if they turned them up for the first week and then slowed them down. I feel like they respawned a lot faster before, which would kind of make sense because later it'd be annoying if things respawn too quickly and attacked you. Or just because I'm higher level, I'm just beating them up too fast. Okay, we're done. That was a good little break. I was able to eat my burrito, so I needed that. I was getting really hungry. I feel much better. Okay, so with that, we will continue on. Look at this city, you guys. Look at this. It's so cool. Absolute love it. Look at the sky up there. So cool. All right. So we're gonna go straight to the chapter with Gandalf. All right. Technically, I could also talk to what's her name? Because we talked to the one person, taking the fight to them.
You are more effective than you appear.
Thank you. You may consider me a friend. Have I anything you should need in Zajana? Do not hesitate to ask. That's all I had to do. Slay a bunch of guys she doesn't like.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
I knew it! We just had to show our good intentions by slaughtering people. Okay, now we see if she's willing to tell more information about Barshud and his contacts in Zajana.
We should speak with Azagaya.
Part 4.
She said her merchants may have information on Barshud.
That's why we continued that. We should speak with Zagana. She may have more missions on Barshud. Now we have shown her our quality, worth to her. I believe she may yet prove a willing ally of Hamat Renewed. Oh my gosh, back and forth, back and forth.
You should speak with Muzawi. She sells fish and herbs near Lajor. She may have seen your barshu.
Thank you for helping in aid of our fight against the Jeweled Council. I may not trust you fully, but I will help you. Well, I'm definitely gonna want to take apart that Jeweled Council, and I will definitely, possibly steal the jewels. I'm just kidding. It's like, we dwarves do like our gems and jewels. She's like, there's not physical jewels. It's literally just the name. What? You sure they don't have any in a treasure chest anywhere in the vicinity? You should speak with Muzati. She sometimes sells fish, herbs. Sorry, Muzawi, excuse me. Near LOTR. She may have seen your Bashud. You can find her in the courts of Laurin Nasta, the large marketplace not far from here. Alright, I probably should go and talk with Gandalf real quick, but I think we're just going to finish part 4 here, because I have a feeling it'll move us into the next part, from what I remember. It's a little bit of running back and forth in the city with the questing, I will say, I noticed. But, like, if you're really, like, speed running it, you're not reading quests, you're just, like, picking quests up and doing it as fast as you can. I noticed the other day when I was doing it on my Lore Master, I was able to kind of get the whole city done in, like, less than an hour. Like, all the quests, like, you know, it's like 30 quests, 35 quests. So it's not too bad. I feel like they're very, been very balanced. Now, I want to read this quest because I think it's funny. So this is the person we have to talk with, I think.
Ah, yes. Everyone wants things from Muzawi. But what will help Muzawi to clear the rats and set the traps and gather herbs? I wonder.
It will be you, yes? Then I will tell you what I know. Gather the herbs and kill any rats nearby here, and I will mark on your map where there's a Johnny they are. Okay. You can, calm down there. Now, what happened to the other... I thought there was another quest right here from this person, but I guess it opens later. Alright, well, the good news is, I'm glad I continued that quest, because guess where it's leading us? Right next to Gandalf in the chapter. So, this is why, you know, it's important. Now, granted, hopefully my videos and streams kind of help you, if you've seen it ahead, to know where to go, so that you don't have to waste your time going back and forth 3 times. But it is important to kind of do what's closest. But at the same time, if you get a bunch of bulk quests from one area and they send you out to an area and the quests are kind of all in the same area, do them all and then bring them all back to the quest givers that are in the same area. It's kind of important if you do it that way, because LOTRO has always made that the system with how you move quests around and things like that. Oh, it's Angus! Hey, thanks for the super chat, Angus. That's super nice of you. Angus says, it says I'm not subscribed, but I am, so I can't write in chat, it says. It unsubscribed you? Oh, this is something that's going on with YouTube. That's weird, Angus. Well, clearly you resubscribed. Yeah, that's weird, Angus. Okay. I've noticed this. Thank you for the super chat. The room is now flashing gold. Thank you. I'll say this real fast so we don't get sidetracked too much. But I have noticed in the last 2 weeks that the channel has been growing, but for some reason I'm getting these weird moments where my channel just like, there's no subs for like 2 days. And usually what that means is, naturally with every channel you get subscriptions and you get some people who stop and unsubscribe, right? It's free, that's how it's natural. But usually you're on an upward trajectory. Even with my channel and its size, I've noticed I've really been on a very nice upward, you know, thank you for your support, guys, I appreciate that. But there's a couple things I've noticed in the last week or two where it just will freeze with no subs for a day or two. I had the other day, I like, instead of going a little positive few like I do every day, it was -1. I'm thinking that is not normal. I haven't had that in like a year where something like that happened. And it wasn't like I just released a video that a lot of people watched and liked, so it didn't make any sense. And that makes me a little bit more sus that Angus says that, because it sounds like to me something's going on there. Is YouTube just unsubscribing a bunch of my subscribers, right? Like right when people are resubscribing. That's why it's just like hovering. And I know, by the way, some big channels, a lot of well-respected big channels have been saying this exact same thing. And I'm talking by big channel, I mean 3 million, 4 million, 5 million subscriber channels, right? Obviously, my channel is very tiny compared to those channels. God willing, it'll grow and be big someday, right? But that point is, no matter, irrelevant, right? Our goal here is you're having fun and I'm having fun. But it is a challenge in that area because I do this channel full time. So it's a little rough feeling sometimes when you realize that's happening, especially when a lot of your viewers are telling you. You literally can't right now. Can you just click the subscribe button and then chat? The super chat is working, but you can't. Well, Angus, go to the regular subscribe button and just click subscribe, like the regular. Thank you for another super chat, though. That was very nice of you. But you can't chat. You could talk in Discord to me too, but you should be able to resubscribe if it unsubscribed you. Right. So, real quick, I'll show you. We'll just look on the stream. Hold on. So, you should be able to. We're going to get a multi-effect here going here, but you should be able to re-click the, wait, why don't I see it either? Oh, because it's my own channel. Duh. I have to be on a different account. Duh. That's why I can't see it. Hold on. Sorry. Let me see if I can bring it up somewhere else. The subscribe button should be on the bottom left where it said join for mine. There should be a button there that says subscribe. Is it not there, guys? You guys can all see it, right? Is the button there? Now, if you are subscribed, it'll have the option to unsubscribe. Please don't do that. But it should be there. Oh, weird. Okay, Angus said that he clicked it and then resubscribed. Okay, Dreadman has the button. Refresh the page. Try refreshing the page, Angus. Click your little refresh button wherever that is on your browser. The little like circle-y thing. Refresh the stream once. And see if that fixes it. That's it. Alright, sweet. Angus, okay, good. You're okay. Weird. Okay, alright. Well, yeah, it's a little frustrating with that stuff because like no one really knows if YouTube is doing stuff like that. I am a fan of YouTube. I really enjoy streaming with it. I love using it for videos. I've done a bunch of the other platforms and they're all fine, but YouTube has been my go-to. Like I've tried other platforms and YouTube's just the best at what it does. But it's a little hard sometimes when you're trying to figure stuff out and you're like, wait, what's happening? Right? Because it doesn't tell you. They don't tell you these things, right? Like, I kind of wish they would just tell you, like, hey, we unsubscribe these people because we consider them bots. We think they're bots, right? It should have like a little message or something like that. The behind the scenes invisible stuff that happens is it needs to be a little more transparent. Let's just put it that way. I wouldn't be as upset about it if it was a little bit more transparent. And then of course it's like, oh, well, we're not doing that. And it's like, well, the biggest YouTubers in the world are noticing that you're doing that. So clearly they're doing that, right? Right. It's like, that's just how it goes. But again, not the end of the world. We'll continue on here. I'm going to get sidetracked. But Angus, I'm glad that it's fixed for you now. It's frustrating they did that to you. Especially because Angus is like a all-the-time viewer and he's always here. So the fact that he got auto-unsubscribed is a little bit worrisome. A little bit. So it's like how many of my other usuals just getting unsubscribed and then don't know that an event is happening because of it. Or I'm putting out videos. But that's all right. Let's not get too conspiratorial here. But you know, it's still, there's some realness to that argument, absolutely. Especially because everyone on YouTube says there's something going on. Just no one knows quite how to put their thumb on it. But when YouTube is working in the right way, everything works great. All right, we have cleared that up. Let's go talk to Gandalf. Gandalf. Well, look at this cool city gate. Very fancy. Yeah, that is pretty weird, Angus. I'm glad that you've got it fixed, though. All right, you caught. It said, let's go ahead and continue the story here. You caught up with Inkanush and Ulishar at the Shan Kitax, the Nether Gates. Scary. It's a pretty cool looking gate, actually. Look at that thing. It's pretty legit. The textures on that gate look awesome. Like, if I showed you this and like set this as a screenshot, like, honestly, these are like the new textures of LOTRO. It almost looks like a different game than from the past. It's like almost a different game. Like, that's really, it looks amazing.
Ah, yes, my friend. Ulishar told me he came with you to the city.
The wizard jesters at the great southern gate. Whether you name the city Jana like the Odaki or Zajana like the Dorwards, it seems both groups agree on this one point. The Nether Gate must remain sealed against the possibility of invasion by the Shoro of the South. You have already spoken with Glorfindel. He came not with you here. Is there still time to visit the Great Library before we return to him? You tell Inkanush that the Elf Lord agreed to report on the quality of Tiraka's traveler's performance, but there should still be time for the first visit to the Library of Zajana.
I am sorry. Did you say the name Tirkar's Travelers?
You tell Ushara you believe that there is a name of the theater troupe Glorfindel intends to watch perform elsewhere in the city, and the Kinte's eyes widen with surprise. I know this group, Zollin, but I never thought we would see them again. Tirkar and his theater company were the very folk who aided me in the escape from Imak Dul. I owe my freedom and my life. Oh, cool.
I will always be in Tirkar's debt for the kindness he showed me.
One last act of defiance before the march to their war. He told me when we were safely out of Imakdul and heading eastward, that was a week before he and his men were to report to the northern march with the rest of the Shagani conscripts from Murgala. They wished not to go, but it would mean death if they refused. It is good to learn that they have returned from the war.
We came to this place to learn if the Tharduth pose a threat to these lands.
And the great library of Jajana and the Kalmalkila will aid me in this. The wisdom of the many centuries is I'm going to go into a lower voice for Gandalf. Is contained within. Then, when last I walked these streets, it provided most informative on a great number of subjects. But let none claim I am out without feeling. To learn what the Ulashi's absent friends have come to the city must delay our visit to the archives of Jizana. My research can surely wait for the duration of their performance. How long could such a thing be? The Kalmali has remained secure even while the city burned. So protective have its keepers been over the centuries. Speak to me if you are amendable to this plan. Oh, well, that's a word, Gandalf. You would use that, wouldn't you?
But then let us consume the day's entertainment for Ulishar's sake, but also for our own.
Afterwards, we will go to Kalamake, the Word Fortress of Zajana. Is that the name? The Word Fortress? Kalmal Kila is translation the Word Fortress. If Gandalf just tells the translation, because that's awesome. That's a cool name. All right, here we go.
They are about to start. How fortunate we came to Zajana on this day.
All right. Oh, wow. This music is loud. All right. So we're here at the... we're going to get to watch a little play here. I don't remember if they're voiced over or not, but I am going to do it either way. All right, get you on here. Yeah. Angus, if you're still having trouble, just make sure when you resub that you refresh the page once and then click subscribe. Because if you're clicking subscribe and then you're possibly clicking it again, it might be unsubscribing you then at that point. So double check that you refresh the page once first and then click it one time. All right, moving on here with the story. I am so pleased to see that Tarkar's experience fighting in the north has not robbed him of his desire to perform. I hope you enjoyed the play, Zollin. They were most skilled when I met them, and their catalogue of entertainment was dense and varied. Oh, they begin!
My friend Adolsi appears. Where then is Tarkar?
We of Tarkar's travelers hope you will enjoy the day's entertainment. If it please you to reward our efforts today with meager coin, it would be welcome. And should that meager coin be joined with a more generous number, that would be most welcome. What is it, Imalek?
These good people came here for a story at Halsey. They wished for excitement, not for your outstretched hand seeking their coins.
You are right, Imalek. What can we do about that?
We can give it to them.
Our trick archer, Imalek.
She shoots 2 arrows.
Then let us begin. Please enjoy the wisdom of Sajana Resplendent, as performed by Tarkar's travelers.
I am beginning to worry about Tarkar. He it was who would introduce each of the plays.
Uh-oh. He's worried his friend got killed or something.
Long ago, the Shagor tribes dwelt in the dry plains to the southeast. The desert winds were unceasing. The sands of Gulsachasha would only grow. The Shorgor followed the stars in the sky to the ridge of Morjala. The Chanag they established would be called Dagan. It would eventually be known as Jajan. In time, the name Jajan would become Zajana, the city in which you now sit.
Ah, this play is quite good.
The guy shushes Gandalf.
I am the Hool of Ordach. I understand there is gold to be found here, and jewels.
Please, mighty one, Sajana is a place of scholarly wisdom and peace.
No, it belongs to Ordach now. Its plains will feed my Mumakil.
Behold the mighty Mumak. Its appetite cannot be satisfied.
It's a cow. A hobbit? That's so far from the Shire. This performance has become most interesting, Zollin, Gandalf says.
Let me tell you a story, Hul. Long ago, a stranger came to Sajana. People said he was a wizard.
I am the wizard in Kanush. I seek the City of Gates.
This is ridiculous.
Gandalf.
Ah, here is a gate. But how shall I open it?
Are you sure he is a wizard?
For 3 days and nights, the wizard stared at the gate, willing it to open. At last, the guards approached him.
What is it you want, wizard?
I want to come in, but the gate will not open.
Have you tried knocking?
Preposterous! That is not how it was.
Is there a point to this story? I have a war to wage and kingdoms to conquer.
The wizard asked to see the scrolls and books of the city.
I wish to see the scrolls and books of the city.
The libraries of Sajana contain thousands of these. Which one would you like to read?
Well, I should think, all of them.
So, what did this wizard of yours learn?
Oh, I know not. No one does.
Then you have been wasting my time.
Not at all! During my story, the people of Sajana have gathered in secret. Now they will rise up against you and take back their city.
For that is the true wisdom of Sajana the Splendid. Never again will it be ruled by others.
Okay. I enjoyed the performance, Zollin, as I knew I would, but there are so many missing faces. Did so few of my friends return from the war? I have some criticisms about my portrayal, Zollin. Gandalf's like, I didn't do that. What are you talking about?
It was good of Inkanush to delay his plans so we might attend this performance.
But now I have more questions than before.
When I knew Terka, it was customary after a performance for the company to gather.
At the nearest tavern to spend a portion of the day's coin on ale. I would like to see if it remains the case, Zollin. Let us look for them among the markets to the south, west, where it is possible they will acquire food and drink. It's just to sustain them for the following performance. All right. Food and drink. Okay. Good. Both our quests are in the exact same spot. Isn't that convenient? I just got a question for everybody that's in the stream right now. You guys that are subscribed, it lets you. It should automatically let you chat once you subscribe, right? Like none of you have a block thing or anything like that. Obviously, you wouldn't be talking if it was glitching out. So, but McDread, you were talking a second ago, and Angus was talking. So, I would just double check for you, Angus, and refresh the page once or twice. And then double check that it is subscribed once you've refreshed the page. A lot of times if there's a delay in the page, it'll glitch out and it'll say you're not subscribed. You click it again, it'll actually unsubscribe. So just make sure you refresh it once or twice and then just click it once and then refresh again and see if it's correct once you've clicked it one time. All right.
I have spoken to Satagera, and it is as I feared.
Her husband, Tekar, perished in the north. Oh no, his friend, as did several others of their troop. The Fire Eater, Zorosh, the twins, Darjo and Orkil. No word has come back of Kazin or Ruman. But Imelek fears they must have also died in battle. She was wounded during the retreat before the mighty city and saw them no more. But the tidings are not all sad. Zimelkel was held in reserve at the river city and saw no fighting. Her soldiers were driven south as Gondor advanced, and a fortunate star must shine upon Mashuno, for Satgura tells me that he was wounded in the forest early during the fighting and was not made to march upon Minas Tirith. I mourn for the friends who were so kind to me, Zollin, and I honor their memory. Despite this sorrow, my heart feels to once again see those of the Terak travelers who remain to bring joy to the folk of Shagana. So, good storytelling. Basically, we're getting the perspective of the evil leaders kind of forced all of their people into fighting. And sadly, a lot of them died, right? Granted, a lot of Gondorians died too, right? It's just, unfortunately, the evil of Sauron, right? Manipulating these evil leaders of the kingdoms of Harad. So, but it's kind of interesting to see the more innocent people who were like kind of forced to go to war, or they would be killed, as we learned in the other thing, right? It's a very realistic, even though I know it's a fantasy world, it's a very realistic, what is it? Trope. Or not trope, it might not be the right word, but you know what I'm saying. All right, let's go ahead and talk to her.
I am Satagera, the widow of
Satagera. Okay.
And I am the playwright of this company of traveling players.
I am pleased to meet you, my friend of Ulshara. The Kinte is dear to us all, as he was to my husband. It was Terkas travelers that smuggled him from the captivity of Ordak before most of our company was sent to war. Did he tell you that? Satagera smiles fondly. One last act of defiance, my Terka called it. I am glad we did as he bade, for Ulmar's treatment in that city was hard. I think he would have not survived among the Ordaki for many more months. I invite you to speak with the others of my company. A cloud hangs over us this day, but do not let it trouble you. It is a private matter, and one we can handle ourselves. Do you guys need help with something? Alright, now someone's got to comment in the stream, because I'm getting worried that it's glitching out and not letting you guys comment. It should let anyone comment who's subbed. And the reason I do that, by the way, is because it helps stop the bots. And I made it where if you sub, you could immediately talk. Because there's like a thing where you could like, if someone subscribes, they have to wait 20 minutes or something, blah, blah, blah. That's dumb. I just make it, if you subscribed, you can talk in the chat with YouTube. Because it mainly stops the bots. Because the bots don't auto-subscribe, right? Almost, they just don't. Which is also weird why, again, jumping back to the other subject, why YouTube even unsubscribes people for being bots, because I don't think there are really that many bots that subscribe. They usually just post links into your chat. I mean, I'm sure there's some that can do that. It's not that hard of a task. But the bottom line is it definitely helps remove those spam chat botters that put stuff in the chat when I have it on subscribe can only chat. That's why I have it on like that. And realistically, people can subscribe, chat, and then unsubscribe if they want to. I'd prefer they don't. It's free. You can stay subscribed, but you get the point. You get my logic behind that. That's the reason I have it set up that way.
I am the wardrobe master of this company, and am called Mashkan.
I caught sight of you from the stage, stranger. Who is the hooded man with whom you watched the performance? Raven says I'm here. Sweet, thank you, Raven. Nathan, okay, says I'm here. Not working. So Angus, I think that I'm not quite sure why it's not working for you. I have a feeling there's a delay or something in the refreshing. I really, really recommend. I think you probably know what I mean, but like with refreshing, you need to click subscribe once, and then if the button's glitched out or something, it says you're already subscribed, click refresh of your whole browser one time, refresh the stream, close it, reopen my stream, double check, see if it says you're subscribed still, and then if you are, you should be able to type. It should work. But if you do refresh and it says subscribe again, not unsubscribe, then you'll probably want to click it. But I do appreciate the super chats, Angus, but I don't want you to feel like you have to super chat just to get my attention. You could talk to me in the Discord if you need it more, but I will help you later after the stream if need be. All right, let me keep focusing here on the story. Who is the hooded man with whom you watched the performance? You answer that your companion is the wizard Inkanush, and he may have taken issue with his betrayal in the play. Makush's eyes narrow. Inkanush is a figure of legend and myth, an old wanderer and a troublemaker. Are you perhaps mistaken? Right now, who's this?
A friend of Ulishar is a friend of mine.
I am called Jasmine. I am a singer, tumbler, juggler, and player of drums for Terkaz travelers. Hello, what's up, Elvin? That is it. I am Zollin Ironshield, your hosting guide. You are correct, Elvin. What is it that you can do? You tell Jasmine that you are a guardian and an adventurer, and ask where she is from, because we very much like to know how there's a hobbit here. I live on the dusty road, friend, but I count myself among the Zajani. I have not seen very many in the Shagana that look as I do, but that is fine with me. When Satagura has a need of someone to play a child, a goblin, or a legendary trickster, she can rely upon Jasmine, for few indeed are as she is, which she's talking about herself. That is a really weird way to say it, but yeah. I will find out more on this. I'm not sure with the hobbits idea of being in Harad. I really get, personally, lore-wise, I just like the whole idea of the hobbits are just in the Shire, because that's kind of like, we'll see where that goes. I'll tell you what I feel on that more once I have more information on that. I like the elves in Harad, and that they're a very split, different version of elves. They're not the elves of Middle-earth. They're not the elves of Valinor. They're like the group of elves that never wanted to travel to Valinor or travel across with the Valar. I think it's a very cool and compelling story, the way they did the elves. That they're kind of like almost like a, lesser is not what that's not the right word. They're more like a primitive version of the elves, and that might not be the correct word either to use, but they have that feeling that they're more like, they don't have the same knowledge of like Valinor and stuff, because they like were afraid to like keep going as a group. That was interesting, right? And that they're so distantly different. Again, there's some stuff there that's still lore-wise that I'm a little bit on, but overall, the story's grown on me, and I really like how they put in the elf story, especially in the Kingdoms of Harad, and this character. I've really liked him a lot, and I really think they did a really good job with that storytelling. I just, I kind of wish the storytellers of Lord of the Rings Online, maybe Amazon's Rings of Power could have asked them a few key points. Would have probably been smart, just throwing that out there. Because if you're going to make up lore to add in, it's got to make sense and respect the original lore, which LOTRO does a great job of. They do a very fantastic job of that with the storytelling writing. Because a lot of stuff we're doing in the Kingdoms of Harad is now made up, right? As in, it's not like solid canon, right? there are like hints of things connected to information that Tolkien told us, but it's like we're now into another realm. We're into the appendices and past, right? In the Lord of the Rings. And Tolkien does talk about some stuff, ideas he had in letters that he once was going to write another book, but he never did. And he never did enough letters for his son to put it together, obviously, Christopher Tolkien. So, like, he did have ideas of what the Fourth Age was going to be like, and what Aragorn and Arwen and basically all the would have to deal with, and kind of befriend and work with some, and there'd still be bad guys, and some would be good, some would be bad, because Tolkien never said that all the Haradrim and all the Easterlings were just evil. People make that a lumped assumption comment, and it really bugs me when people make that comment about the lore, because he never did that, okay? Yes, a lot of the Haradrim and Easterlings were bad guys. It was because the influence of Sauron was very heavy in their countries, right? But it didn't mean they all were, and the Blue Wizards were not in this part of the story at all, Harad, but they were in the east, right? With the Easterlings on the other side of Mordor, north of us, right? Just make sure everyone knows their geography here. They're over here. We're down here, right? We're technically in a different continent. We're not in Middle-earth. So the moment you kind of pass this river, and like where Umbar is, that's kind of like the end of Middle-earth. Technically, we are outside of Middle-earth, okay? We're technically in the continent of, I guess it would be, I don't know, it would be Harad? Probably? But I don't know what they would call the continent. But again, that's why I thought the whole idea of being the Maiar, this other wizard that was sent to this continent to help in the lore. And again, that was in my other streams, so that's not really a spoiler because we already covered that in this stream series. In the main story here, I thought that was very interesting. I wasn't sure at first. I was a little worried. You saw me in the stream. I was like, oh, where are we going with this, right? I was getting a little worried. And then once I read it all, I was like, oh, this is really well done. Really well done storytelling. I was really pleasantly surprised because I was definitely hesitant for a second. I was like, and I think they did that on purpose, the writers. They're making you kind of go, wait a second. You're not going to say this is like a blue wizard, right? Because it doesn't make any sense. For one of the blue wizards are guys, you know, and like all this stuff. And then they didn't. They said this is a totally different wizard in this story that added in for LOTRO, right, in the southern continent. And I was like, you know, it kind of makes sense. Because if the Valar sent 5 wizards to Middle-earth, which is kind of like Europe, right, if you're comparing it to our world, to a continent, kind of makes sense the Valar would probably send helpers to like other locations in the world of Ardar, which is the planet, right, that had peoples that needed help. Now, granted, I think they didn't do as good a job in Harad, probably, but that's probably what we're going to go into more, as we did kind of already learn about with, you know, the wizards. So, all right, being distracted, but sorry, I had to go into some lore stuff there, because that is something that I've been really watching and talking about. So, yes, no, we're not going to talk about Rings of Power, Elbin, any more than I just said. But the point is, Amazon's Rings of Power could take a note or two out of Lord of the Rings Online's adding additional story. Because, you know, Lord of the Rings Online kind of does a masterclass in how you should do it. Doing, like, basically fan lore, which kind of is what's going on here, right? Again, I've talked about this in the past, but my definitions, just so we know, so we're on the same page, because people have slightly different definitions on this sometimes. Canon, for me, is anything that Tolkien wrote or his son Christopher did. Because the reason why I say Christopher is because he was in direct work with Tolkien constantly, and he knew him for years because he was his father. He loved it too, and he had all his letters and notes, and he was the one that he even said many times that his goal was to try to bring out what his father created. He didn't want to like add too many little things of himself except for what his father told him. So anything that Christopher Tolkien did or Tolkien did, I believe is full 100% canon. That's what I would consider canon in Tolkien's universe. That's my opinion on that. I think other people probably have thoughts on that, belief on that too, but that's like the hardcore. Then I would jump into what's called legends, right? This is a little different than like Star Wars terminology. So to throw Star Wars out the window for a second here, okay? So Star Wars is different how they do this, because canon in Star Wars is like whoever owns the copyright rules. I disagree with that definition, okay? So I'm doing my version here. So the legends is kind of like anything that fits in to the story extremely well, but wasn't directly written necessarily by Tolkien, or by his son. But like really great additions, or people that have worked on the books, or like put together notes, or the histories of Middle Earth and things like that, which Christopher Tolkien did a lot of those, but other people did too. Scholars of Tolkien, that really done a lot. LOTRO, where these people have put in hours of work to feel like, well, Tolkien told us this, and we know this. How do we fit these together where they're seamless and they respect the lore and it doesn't contradict? Right? And when it doesn't contradict, that's what be like legends, right? So a lot of what's in LOTRO, not all of it, okay, in my personal opinion, but a lot of it in LOTRO is what I call legends, which would be like things that really respect the lore, fit perfectly, make complete sense from where the logical storytelling was going from Tolkien, things like that, right? Now, there are other things that are more of like what I would call then fan fiction, okay? Now, fan fiction could be something that fits in and respects Tolkien's lore, and it could be something that completely disregards, is completely made up, completely does its own thing, right? There are a few things that I would consider fan fiction in Amazon's Rings of Power that do fit and respect the lore. But most of the things in Amazon's Rings of Power, for me personally, in the TV show, don't. So I would throw most of Amazon's Rings of Power into fan fiction. Right? It's their own thing. It uses names of places and characters, but a lot of things don't fit, like personalities of characters completely changed, storytells, timelines completely crushed and rearranged, all that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily just means bad, okay? That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying the logic of my thought process on doing this in my mind, okay? Because I have to categorize it in a certain way. Now, again, for the Rings of Power, I would say the stuff with these elves is somewhere sitting between almost legends to being like a respectful fan fiction, right? Connected in. That's what I feel like with this. A lot of this whole storybook has really felt like it could almost fit into legends. Because again, Tolkien never wrote any of this stuff, but where the Tolkien LOTRO writers go, it really fits and respects a lot of it. There's a few things here and there that I wouldn't necessarily fully agree on maybe, but I have to play through the whole game to know for sure. But it doesn't, again, I have a lot of respect for the LOTRO team that does the stories because they do a really good job. Hence my whole joke that, Amazon's Rings of Power should have maybe taken a few notes out of LOTRO. I'm going to turn down the music. The music is just really, really loud. There we go. But, yeah, so anyway, those are my thought processes on a lot of that. So we'll see where this whole Hobbit idea, this Hobbit lands. Personally, I think right now, from the info I have, it's a fan fiction thing. Now, does it land in the fan fiction of, I don't think it fits Tolkien's lore at all, or that it respects and fits in? That I'll have to decide that later. But anyway, that's my thought process. That's how I approach this stuff. And again, my goal is, as your host and guide, when I do lore videos or talk about this stuff, is that I'm trying to do it from like a fair perspective, right? From a kind of a moderate perspective, because my goal is that if you like something a lot and maybe you disagree and you think it's really, really great and fits in perfectly, go for it, right? Or vice versa. You think I'm totally wrong and something doesn't fit in, it's totally not right, and it's like just a fan fiction, blah blah. Go for it. That's not my goal. I'm just trying to make it fun for you guys, right? I think everyone's gonna have their own thoughts and opinions, and we have very complex ideas, right? All over, we all have different thoughts on the same things, right? And different perspectives and angles that we come at things. So anyway, that's my thoughts on how I cover all of this stuff, right? In my mind. But again, for me, a lot of the stuff in Lord of the Rings Online, a lot of it, I would put in under the legends if it's not directly canon. Because there's a bunch of stuff in the middle of the game and beginning of the game that is canon, right? Obviously not your character talking to characters, because that's fit in as a legend, right? Because your character working with Gandalf, you're not technically in the original books, right, that Tolkien wrote. It's bringing you into this because it's a video game. It's an MMO. You still have to remember what medium you're in, because we're in an MMO. It's supposed to be fun for a player still, right? It's not just a TV show. Or there's like, for me, there is almost like, I don't want to, how do I say this? I don't want to say higher standard, because I have a very high standard for Lord of the Rings Online, and I think both the creators do too, a very high standard. But there's almost more pressure, I would say, on a TV show or a movie, like an adaptation, because All it is entertainment and watching and listening. That's it. When it with an MMO like LOTRO or any other game that has good lore, Return to Moria, fantastic job. A lot of their stuff I would consider like Legends. It's really well done lore, fits into the original canon. But they're video games, so like they have like leeway, right, on things in my thoughts, right? Because like for example, here's a good one. Like the dwarves speak a lot of Khazad-Dum, like to you. In Lord of the Rings Online. Not a tremendous amount, but they do speak quite a decent amount to you. And in the lore, the dwarves will not speak to anyone else but dwarves in Khazad-Dum. They just will not, right? Because that's like sacrilegious almost, even though that's not the right term. But basically, they just will not, right? But because of that, you know, that could be a criticism of LOTR, right? And I've heard some people say that, and I think it's a very respectful criticism, right? But I give a leeway there because it's an MMO, and in theory, your character is a dwarf, like me, I'm a dwarf. It doesn't break any of the lore for my dwarf to talk to them, right? At all. But if I was an elf, or a human, or a hobbit, or a Bjorning, it would make sense. They would be speaking Khazad-Dum to me. But because it's an MMO, you have to be able to read the story. Whatever character you're on, they had to just give it to everybody. Right, the same like information in the quest box, right, for everyone to read. So that's where I think that I give the leeway of like, yeah, that totally makes sense, right? Because it's a video game, you have to give that leeway. It has to be fun for the players still, as much as like you want things to be as lore accurate as possible. As a Lord of the Rings fan, and I think we all feel like that with any adaptation of any series, we want it to be really, really accurate to the best of their ability. But most of us are reasonable enough to know that that is not you can't 100% perfect it, right? I don't think that's how you should say that, but you get my point. You can't make it perfect because it's still a medium of a video game, and people still need to enjoy reading the video game. So they can't be like, sorry guys, you can't do this quest line, only dwarves can, right? That would be dumb for an MMO, right? That would just be a dumb thing to do. People would get annoyed. What do you mean I can't do this whole quest line because they speak Khazad-Dum and I have to be the race of dwarf? Well, sorry guys, gotta be a dwarf, right? Again, lore-wise, that makes sense. Game-wise, that would be stupid, right? So, anyway, there you go. There's my whole spiel. I am done with my 15-minute TED Talk on lore definitions here and how I build lore from canon to legend to fan fiction and different levels of fan fiction, right? So that's how I split it up. I know that is different than Star Wars. Star Wars is like, canon is whoever owns the rights, and then they move that to canon, and then a lot of the stuff that originally was canon is now in Legends, right? Because, like, that's different. Star Wars does it different. Okay, I just want to make sure I clarify that. I'm a big Star Wars fan, too, so I understand the differences. I'm just explaining the differences of how I think about it. Greetings! What's up, Subtropical? What's up? All right.
I am Imalech, trick archer and juggler of the company, and it is a pleasure to meet any friend of Ulishar.
I will... Hold on, let me double check this. No emergency here. I'm getting messages. All right, it looks like we are good. Okay, sweet. I can keep going here. Friend of Ushare, Stakara insists upon writing villainous roles for me. The deadly marksman who threatens the heroes, the brooding lieutenant of the evil king. I have prevailed upon her to give me something romantic next time. Something, Baldi. That's a word I do not follow. We can, one second. We can all use a good laugh after what we went through in the north. I keep hoping Kazin or Umari will stroll up and demand a drink, but there has been no word. They were most skilled with their blades, but the foes arranged against us were terrifying and numerous fighting, mounted demons bellowing for death. Were numerous frightened mounted demons bellowing for... I think she's talking about the Rohirrim. right? Is her perspective of the Rohirrim. Hello, what's up, gentlemen? Welcome to the stream. Hello over there in Kick too. What's up, guys? What server are we in? We're in Glamdring, to answer your question over there. Hello, Noel Chan said something in over there in Kick too. Greetings from Denmark. So what's your take on David Day? Oh, it's a good. Oh, okay, all right, that's a good question. I'm gonna answer that. You still there? I'll answer that in just a second. What's my take on David Day? I will explain the book with his books just in a second. All right.
I am a Talsi. Like Satagera and a former leader Terkar, I am from Sajana.
The woman falls silent, but her eyes remain active, scanning the crowd. Forgive me if I seem distracted. I collect the coins for our performance, and during our latest, it seems some quick-fingered thief replaced our purse with one similar heft and weight, but definitely contents, gray stones instead of shiny coins. Zemirka and Ashamur have gone in search for the villain, but until they return with the right purse, I will not be satisfied.
Can we not help my friends recover their stolen purse of coins?
They feel badly that the theft occurred as we watched the performance, and we noticed it not. What says Satagera to this? I have only ventured with you for a short time, Zollin, but already I know you for one who helps others when the chance comes. We will not allow this to delay us overmuch. Inkonush will certainly understand, will he not? Yes, we will definitely help out. All right, let me answer the question. So, David Day, with the stuff with his books. So, first thing about... Oh, I got to talk to her again, so we'll talk to her again in a second. First thing with his books is that I don't think it's quite as a, some people think it's really, really extremely bad or something. It's actually not. Basically, the biggest criticism that I know of, right, and when I've read them, is that he has really good information in there, and a lot of it is canon from Tolkien. But there are some spots where there's things that are shown to be they're his opinions on something that he connected, which would, again, I would probably put into Legends with my system that I explained to you a minute ago. Maybe I wouldn't really put them into fanfiction because most of them are make sense. They're sensible things, but he's drawing the conclusion and putting the points together. Tolkien didn't do that, so he'll sometimes present it as that it's straight info from Tolkien. And again, 95% of it is, but the one little additional connection that makes sense on something was his idea. So instead of putting a little note hey, this little comment here, this is my addition, I think this would make sense, right? Something like that, right? Just a little preferencing, right? That's all. And that's one of the biggest arguments. So again, I don't think it's quite as bad as some people make it out to be. With that, I will say right now, I think I have all the books because I collect every book I can get on Lord of the Rings. It doesn't matter. I just love them cosmetically, just for their look, right? As well. But David Day's books, I will say, are amazing when it comes to the art and the books themselves, the covers and leather and stuff. I wish other Lord of the Rings brands, History of Middle-earth and all these other ones, which have some nice case big versions, but would have these really fancy leather drawn things in them. It would be really cool. I think more should, or more Lord of the Rings versions that are actually have a leather binder, right? A leather cover with indenting and board on it. That would look really, really cool. I'd love to see that more. But back to the main point is that the way I would approach the David Day stuff is take stuff with a grain of salt, but that a lot of the info he has in there is correct, and most of it is canon because it's from Tolkien, right? But there's a few things in there that are kind of like legends. Maybe some people would argue fan fictions, right? Like in my descriptions. That are kind of just presented like they're info from Tolkien. And I don't think that there was any... I don't think it was, malicious. That was a goal to, deceive people. Because, again, it's a fantasy lore thing. And, the things he added, some of them, one or two of them I've seen actually kind of make sense. It's oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. He just kind of connected the dots. Even though Tolkien didn't directly tell us what was in the middle dot. He kind of was oh, this makes sense to have this middle dot here, right? In the connection. So, but that's what I would do. I would just be careful, double check. You know, if you read something in David Day's book and you're like, I don't really remember that anywhere about that creature or about that, go look at the original books of the Unfinished Tales, the Silmarillion, the History of Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit. Read those and the appendices and stuff in those, and double check, cross-reference things a little bit. But I don't think it should be like something you're like scared to buy David Day's books. No, if you think it looks cool and you like it, go for it. But just have that in your mind. Just know that with that information. So, and again, he seems like he did a really good job in general with those books. The other thing that I know, I've heard some arguments, and I think actually Matt, Nerd of the Rings, told me this one. I didn't realize this one. Some people, I didn't know this one myself already, but some people have made comments that there's a lot of, like, with the different books, like there's a lot of copied sections. So, like, this book might have all these subjects, and then they'll have a special little book that's like just animals, and a lot of the things from there directly copied from the other book. That's not really that argument to me, though, and I think Nerd of the Rings felt like this too, but I'm not going to speak for him. But he seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal too, but that's what he'd heard as other issues, right? And I agree. I don't think that's really that big of an issue. Like, a lot of book companies do that, where they're like break down a book and make it into a smaller piece, and they just kind of like take clippets out of the other one, right? And then just add a little bit and redo it. So I don't think that's really that big of an issue, personally. Look at this. Angus, look at that. You're able to talk. Yeah, and you're still here, sweet. Yeah, so it's really up to you guys with that, with if you like how he writes too. Because Angus, like, he says he doesn't really care how he does stuff. That's totally cool. Like, if you don't like it, don't get it, right? But I just feel like that's my biggest thing. It's just the warning on, if you see something that doesn't quite feel like, wait a second, did Tolkien say that? I would double check cross-reference if you are going to get those books. But that's why I would recommend just getting the main trilogy, the Hobbit series, getting like Unfinished Tales for history, and then like the History of Middle-earth. If you're really going to get really like nerdy into knowing all the background details, those are ones that are going to give you direct, like, everything. The Silmarillion, obviously. Silmarillion's a big one. And then, of course, the appendices in Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, right? Those are where you're going to get the direct canon lore of stuff. But, yeah, personally, my thoughts on it, I like David Day's books visually because of the art and the stuff. And he does have a very nice way of concisely saying fun subjects, like about this animal or about this creature, right? Like fell beasts. You can look it up and just read a little bit about fell beasts. And again, a lot of it is, taken straight out of the other books, the canon, and then occasionally a little bit of addition to kind of fit things together with maybe assumptions, right? And that's, I think, where people... I don't want to say people go overboard, because I don't want to insult people, because, like, it's true if you're trying to be a real purist, right? With, like, being super, super hardcore. I'm pretty moderate on this stuff. I think it's fun when people do fan fictions and do things as well, especially if it's respectfully done. I don't like it when it's not respectful. And some of the stuff in Amazon's Rings of Power is not respectful. Some of it is. Some of it's good, but some of it is very not. So that's where I kind of like, that's where I personally draw the line. It depends on the individual. But, yeah, so anyway. Hopefully that kind of answers the question. I think I went into that a lot. RV says, can you show your keyboard? I want to see it live. Oh, my keyboard, what I use? Well, I have a cover on it right now. I use the Steel series. I don't know if I can really show you very well from the camera's perspective. But here, let's see if I can... Yeah, speaking of that, I've got this cover on it, and seems like the cover is... There it is. See, I took off the cover there. I have a little plastic cover, but that's my MMO keyboard side, this one. And then the regular keyboard. You'll see the regular keyboard. That's what I'm using. I'm using a Merc Stealth one, which I need to take off the cover and probably clean it more anyway. But I love this cover. It's just a little membrane cover I got to cover it all the time. Cover it to cover it. Who would have guessed? But it's very nice. It definitely helps. I'm trying to keep this keyboard really nice because I finally got a new one. And they're very hard to find because they're not really sold normally anymore. So I had to get one on eBay. And a guy was selling it for a really reasonable price. He was like Potion Man. He was selling it for, it was like $150, which originally it was 90 originally when I got it like 13 years ago. But all the ones on Amazon brand new were like $1,000. I was like, yeah, right, I'm not paying that. And this guy had one, and I was like, yes, because I had been taking care of mine for like 12 years. I still have the other one, but it had a few keys that were broken.
Or stolen purse. But if you are willing to help, Asharmul and Simelka are capable of retrieving our stolen purse. But if you are willing to help,
I will not refuse it. This is not the first time such a theft has occurred, and it will not be the last. Look for them in the residential district of Zajana to the southeast, for the theft is likely to have fled to the Ardok-controlled district of the city. Alright. Let's go get it. You know what? Hold on. I could give myself run speed buff. I should have done that a while ago here, but I wasn't really traveling around that often. But let me go ahead and buff my horse's movement speed. There we go. That'll help us out here. Oh, I need to talk to that other person too real quick. Alright, nice lady. Here you go.
I saw this Barshud. He was with the Ordarhag Boros. Very important looking, outside the Hall of Lajor.
I will trust you on the rats. Don't make me regret not making you bring their trails. Oh, their tails. Oh, gosh. Okay, outside the hall, there were 3 of them. Boron, Nirajar, and Boro. And I destroyed all their names. And Arkon Boro, all speaking with Barshud. You can find them outside Bara. But the area is quite unfriendly to who aren't loyal to the Empire of Odak. Don't say Muzawi didn't warn you. Alright, good news is I think we need to go to the same area. Just about. Alright, let's go speak with someone over there, and then we will go and deal with the scary guys in that district. Oh man, time flies when we're having fun. I did not realize we've been streaming for 2 hours and 10 minutes already. I'm glad to see Angus, you're able to chat there too. That's good. Good. Hello! Dude, which LOTRO server has the highest population at the moment? You want Europe or North America? I'm going to start this game again. Which one are you going to play on, sir? I need that once you answer. So, for North America, the highest population is Glamdring, the one I'm on. It's but the populations are very healthy and high-ish on Peregrine and Sting. They definitely have players. But if you want to know what is the biggest server, it's not really. Glamdring is the biggest server. I can't just gotta tell you directly. I know I support all of the servers personally. I think everyone is fantastic and the community is on all of them. But when people ask me that, some people are like, why are you saying it? It's like, well, if people want to ask me directly that question, I gotta give the answer. Glamdring is clearly the biggest server. I think it's like at least double the other two. But in population. But again, there are a lot more players on all the servers with the new servers. If you're going to play in Europe, Orcrest is the big one. Now, Orcrest is a bit overpopulated from what I know. There's usually queues. Just because it's many countries that play on that server. But they also have Grand and Peregrine. Or sorry, Meriadoc. Meriadoc is the European roleplay one. Meriadoc's the roleplay European one, and Peregrine, which is the NA one, is the roleplay one. And then Sting is the North American other big server they opened along with Glamdring. Though technically Sting is the newer one, so I don't know the population numbers, but I would assume Sting is probably similar population to Peregrine or a little bit smaller. But I bet you it still has way more than any of the 32-bit servers had. EU, so you're probably looking at Orcrest. Now, if you're an EU player and you want to play with us, and you want to try out playing on Glamdring and see if the ping and see how the game runs for you, I mean, go for it. We have quite a few European players that play with us in our server here on Glamdring and our Kinship of Voice of the Rings. So, if you ever want to play with us, you know, try it out, see how it runs. You know, play it for a couple hours, see if you like it. You're welcome to play with us. But if you want to play on the European servers, it's going to be on Orcrest. If you want to play with us, we're on Glamdring. And then the other Europeans, again, are Meriadoc, the roleplay, which, again, they don't enforce roleplay. It's just, that's what it's recommended for. And then Grand is the new other one they opened on EU. So they opened Grand on EU and Sting on NA when they realized that there were so many players that the brand new servers, which were supposed to be able to hold 10 times the other servers, which they do, mind you. I don't know exact number on that with 10 times. I just throw that out there. But they still had a lot. We had a lot of players. They were, I think the devs were surprised at how many players there were, and that's a good thing. I'm glad that it was underestimated rather the other way around.
If that is where Barshud was seen in Zajana, that is where we must go.
Our path draws ever deeper, but I cannot allow Barshun to slip away from again.
I know not these details this merchant speaks of. We should speak with Azagaya in the Shorakuna.
She will know what to make of them and where we need to go next. Okay. So yeah, anyway. So again, EU, Europe, it's going to be Orcrest. NA, America, it's going to be, or North America, it's going to be Glamdring. And then the RP servers, again, like I just said, for EU, the other two servers is going to be Meriadoc and Grand. And then for North America, it's going to be Peregrine and Sting. Those are all the new 64-bit servers. Technically, there is a couple other. There's Mordor, which is European legendary server, and there is Angmar, which is the North American legendary server. Those are special servers. You have to be a VIP, and they have like special events on them, blah blah blah, and they slow level. But they're not classic regular servers where you can just get to max level right now. So that's just a side note.
Here, I will mark on your map of where Muzawi speaks.
Muzawi speaks. Of course, Mazadi and her retainer do not know Zajana as the locals do. Here I will mark on your map where Zumani speaks. It is across the Great Bridge and up the stairs. Our Brandazdin worked tirelessly to keep the Ordaki contained, but fighting spills out into the streets from time to time. It is where you were last went to defeat the pushback from the Ordaki menace. Unfortunately, those efforts must be ceaseless, or else we will lose Zajana once more to the jeweled council of the Empire of Ordak. Ooh, all these fancy big words. Alright, sweet. All the quests are sending me to the same spot. I love it when that happens. It means we're doing it right, guys. Gosh, I was hoping we'd get a little farther in this stream, but we've had a fun. I've had a blast. I hope you guys have too. But it's crazy how time flies. I'm gonna have to finish up here. We got about another 15 minutes. We'll stream. We'll get a little bit more of the story done. I went the wrong way, like a silly. I need to go up, not down. Just so you guys know, the way the city works is the lower level is all the middle, and then you go up these stairs to get here, and this bridge crosses to give everything on this side. So just keep that in mind if you're new to the area, because it'll help you not get lost. Pretty much it's that place, and that place up the stairs. This is the way you go across to the bridge into the market area. Once you learn it, it's pretty simple. But if you don't know where you're going at first, you like try to get your way up underneath, you'll never find a way up. So you have to come up those stairs, cross this bridge to the other side. And we're going above the walkway underneath, right? We're on a bridge. Nice, Raven. So there you go. Thanks for letting us know. Raven Darkfall there in chat says, I have no problems playing on Glamdring from within the EU. Yeah, I really think a lot of it comes down to your connection, like depending on many different factors. Your internet right at your house, the internet provider in your area, the connection to wherever the main hub is, the connection to the main lines that go under the Atlantic Ocean, right? and then jump over to it, right? So I think that does matter. I've noticed, because it's funny, because you you know, different people from different places, you know, oh, it works, it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, it's weird, how would some of them work and some of them wouldn't work? I think it really depends on some connections between you and, like, the ocean connection, right? I think that's what's going on. Like, there's always a ping thing, but the fact is those lines under the ocean are, like, fiber optic, a lot of them. So it's like, the info can go so quickly to the other continent, it's like less than a second, right? It's like, right? So, it's really not an issue unless there's some spot bottlenecking the connection, right? And it might not even be your fault. It might just be somewhere in your town has a slow connection in one spot that causes a 1.5 second, 2 second delay, which then causes lag or ping, right? But again, there's so many variables in that it's kind of hard to tell you guys what.
Who seeks the Mercha?
You explain that you are a friend of Ushari, the Kinte, and that Setagera suggested you lend your aid to retrieve the stolen coin purse. Has our playwright's option of our skill fallen so low that she thinks we are too unable to retrieve the stolen purse? At least she should have kept a closer watch on it. She knows how often thieves think of rob us, our hard-earned profits. What say you? There he is.
For Terkar, we served as guardians and enforcers of the peace when trouble called.
And now that he is gone, we do the same for his widow, Sitgarna. So these are basically their two guards. Okay. She doubts not our skill, said Merka. She sees opportunity. Ashamarum points towards the Adaki-controlled district of Zajana up to the stairs to the southeast. If you retrieve the coin purse from the Ordaka of this place, you will prove yourself friendship to Tekra's travelers. Hurry now. The purse will be heavy with coin, and it contains all of our profits from the latest performance. The Zajani love to hear about what resistance against the Ordak. They paid good coins for the privilege. Alright, let's go find the coin purse. Out of our way, scary people. I just ignore them. They can barely hurt me. Except I'm supposed to defeat 6 of them, so I guess we'll defeat 6 of them. No, don't you dare, don't shoot. Ah, my eyes! Ah! Cursed sorceress. And they're blinding of my eyes. You can, by the way, if that effect bothers you guys, if you're playing, you can, I believe, turn that off in effects. Felt like, because it's pretty intense. I literally have to close my eyes when it happens. It's pretty realistically a bad sorcerer spell. Alright, so we need to talk to this man. This nice gentleman, I mean evil gentleman over here. Alright, hello sir.
He spoke of gathering forces, of rebuilding an army.
Stop! I have not seen how cut through our forces. I will tell you what I know. Yeah, you better, you scaredy cat. He's like, scaredy cat? What does that mean? So I'll explain really with characters. So basically they were kind enough to keep all of the old servers' worlds up. So if you had a character, now not counting 11 years ago with the great merge of then, those servers are gone. But some of them they brought back actually. But if you played within the last 10 years, the servers will have been put as dark ones, which means you can see them on the transfer list, but you will not be able to log in. So what you'll have to do is you have characters on another server that you played on. You will have to transfer those characters to a new server. So when you log in, do your regular sign in, click, log in. then they're going to have the play and transfer button. Click the transfer button. I have a guide video on this if you need it. And when you click after you click the guide video, sorry, not the guide video. After you click the transfer button, you will then choose your world, right? If you know how to transfer, if you've ever used it before. Again, guide video if you need it. I talk about it and show you. But you click transfer, choose all your characters. Make sure you click your shared storage too. Make sure that transfers as well. So just basically select all. Shared storage and all your characters. And then click, then choose your new world you want to go to and say transfer. It'll be free. But make sure you choose the right one. If you played on an EU server before, you will have to transfer to an EU server. If you played on an NA server before, you will have to transfer to an NA server. So even if you're in EU, but you played on a North American server before, you will have to transfer to one of the North American servers. So just keep that in mind. You will not have the option to transfer the other ones. There's no crossing between the two. And the reason for that is we were all a little bit confused as a community, like, why can't we? Back in the day, they were actually run as separate server banks way back in the day. So a lot of their code is would be copied over each other, and it just doesn't work. So unfortunately, I guess it's just how they set it up way back in the day, because technically way back in the day, two companies owned. One company owned the North American servers, and the other one owned the EU servers. Technically, they were in the same place in New Jersey, but yeah, I don't know. Who knows? That's a long time ago. It's not even a lot of the same people, right? They're in charge of it now. But technically, they just couldn't do that. So you will have to transfer to the same servers you were on before. So, if you were on Crick Hollow, you will have to transfer to a North American server. You will not be able to go to Orcrest or the European ones. You'll have to pick Glamdring, Sting, or Peregrine, right? And vice versa. If you're on a European server from before, you'll have to go to Orcrest, Grond, or Meriadoc. All right, just keep that in mind. But it's really not that hard to transfer at all. Hello, Nasty Hobbit. How's it going? Hello. Yeah. We're going to be doing our kinship event here in about 45 minutes. So that's why we're going to be done here in about 10 minutes, like I said. I'm going to take a little break between. I used to play on a US server, but now I live in Europe, strangely enough. Yeah, so you're going to have to pick, you'll have to probably pick Glamdring, Moose. If you played on a US server, you will have to pick a North American server to transfer to. You will not be able to transfer to an EU server if your characters are on a North American server originally. Did you actually play last time you played was 5 years ago? It wasn't 12 years ago, right? Because if it's one of the servers... Megavonin, hello, good evening. What's up, guys? How's the voice acting this expansion? It's pretty good, the voices they have. I mean, I'm adding a bunch of voices to parts that isn't voiced over. I would say 20-30% has voice acting in the lines, which is awesome. That's way more than usual, than 5% usually or something. So it's been pretty awesome. I've really been enjoying that. But yeah, it's still fun. I'm still getting to do a lot of voice acting myself here. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, but yeah, at least you'll be on the same server as us if you choose Glamdring. So, again, that is the highest population in NA, and Orcrest would be the highest for EU. But I will tell you again, all 6 servers, 3 on both, will have much better populations than any of the 32 bits had in the past. They'll all be really good. So choose where your friends are, right, or who you want to play with. That's really the only thing to really have to think about, right? Now, if you are kind of a total solo player and you are thinking I just want the biggest population possible, well, then yeah, you want to pick Glamdring on NA or you Orcrest on EU. But there's going to be a lot of players still on the other ones. Now, to be fair, I have not been playing on them very much as of late. So personally, I don't know that, but I know other people who do, and there are players that play all the time. So there's my thoughts on that.
He seeks out the whole. That is all I know.
I do not wish it to be the skin fleshy flayed. I will tell you what Butter send to me. He seeks out the whole. That is all I know. Whether it due to grievance or seeking boons, I know not. he could speak of nothing else. So we're trying to learn about the one bad guy. Take that. And that. And that. Oh look, it's the purse. We found it. It's a light coin purse. The coin purse feels empty, but you should return it all the same. Uh-oh. Raw dwarves! You'll never catch me alive! Alright, we gotta talk to the guy up here. Stop chasing me. You guys are both captains. Alright.
He means to make for
Mercy!
Inakdul in Idagal.
Mercy! I do not wish to fight such a capable combatant. I know what Bashon is planning. He means to make for Imexdul in Indol. He seeks the hole there, that he may raise an army anew and return to Khazad-Dum. He seeks revenge for the defeat there. Alright. I just felt like I wanted to beat this guy up. Take that. Okay. My gosh, these leaders are everywhere. Alright, let's go ahead and ride back out real quick here and talk to them about the coin purse. And then we may have to pause there on the adventures. Let's bring the empty coin purse is actually part of the main story. We also need to speak to Mazadi again outside part 5. I'd like to turn the part 5 in real quick if possible. These guards should help defend me. Kill them! Alright, that was dealt with easy.
Oh, the Ordechai emptied the purse they took from us before you could retrieve it.
That is a shame, my friend. Amosi smiles at you, a twinkle in his eyes. Well, you kept their attention. Zimelka and I took the opportunity to rob them anew. I think you will find the number of coins we retrieved perhaps exceeds the number they took from us. But that is the price of thinking one might outwit Terka's travelers. Bring this fresh, newly heavy coin purse to Atasi. With our regards, I think she will be pleased. That's great. The bad guys just go and steal more of their money. Oh man. Nice. Glad you guys Noel is asking me over in Kick, where am I from? I am from North America. USA, California. That's where I'm at. Alright, so here we go. Let's I'm gonna go over here to the left here. Whoop.
Tell me you have retrieved the stolen coin purse, friend.
And Ashmaru and Zimelka encounter no difficulty among the Ordaki. You place the coin purse in her hand, and Atlases almost drops it. Thank you for your help, friend, Vushi, but I must ask, did it always contain so many coins? I knew not that our performance was such a success. If you ever have need of assistance, you can count upon the friendship of Turkos travelers. Did I just steal the credit for that?
There you are. Inkanush sent me to bring word that he desires to speak with you.
Alright, Lord Glorfindel, let me get these gloves. Yes! Finally gloves that are they as good as... They're not really... Well, they have a ton of mites. I lose some vitality, but they have a ton of mites. I don't know.
He has found his natural environment, as I knew
he would. He was gone to Kalamelia, the great library of Zajana, and already he believes he has learned something of use. It is not all of what he sought. He will tell you in person. The entrance of this fort, or word fortress, the Kile, is to the northeast of here, beside the the commons. That is really, I love that they call it the Word Fortress, their library. Yeah, like that's so cool. The Word Fortress. What a cool name. You have thoughts on the Brawler? Is it a good class? Nate asks. Okay, that is a good question. So my Brawler is technically level 150. I may have Valor boosted him. But I've played him a bit, and I really think it's a very fun class. If you really like to be, like, if you like the playstyle of being, like, up in the face of your enemy, you know, with, like, just, and then you're just, like, punching the living orc out of the orcs, it's a really fun class. So I would say there's a really fun combo between Guardians and Brawlers. If you need two tanks, they work together really well. Kind of like how a Captain and a Guardian also work together really well. I would say Brawlers excel at single target tanking more than area of effect. They only have one really large area of effect taunt. It's a pretty long cooldown. And they have some area of effect skills, but they're all like 8-10 meters. They're not like huge. So they're not nearly as good at holding ads as like a Guardian or a Warden is. But they are very strong. They have really good buffs for the Fellowship or the Raid. And they're really good when it comes to tanking. DPSing, they're also sometimes very valuable to have one of them in the group because they have some very powerful damage buffs for the group, and they do pretty decent DPS. We have two players who main Brawlers in our kinship, and one of them has been tanking a lot more for us, Galad, but she also has... She also runs DPS, where I believe Duck, who is our other Brawler, who's almost got a max level character now, a Brawler, but he's been doing lots of stuff mid-levels with the Tortoise group. He's been trying to do, I think, tanking more with the Brawler. So, but yeah, their DPS is really, really, like, actually pretty strong. And especially with a boss, they, like, build their DPS up over time. So every time they use their punch ability, it does more damage the next time, and it infinitely stacks. So you really can start building up the damage quickly. But yeah, they seem they're really fun to play. Like, it's really fun to play. Like, meta-wise, like, what's the meta class to play? I wouldn't worry about that too much in LOTRO. I would do more like, what do you enjoy playing? I play a couple classes, kind of feel it out. But the meta classes, I don't know if they really would be like considered meta in most scenarios. Now, granted, the meta is going to shift a little bit and change with the new instances and raids once we've seen them and know what they are, right? Brawlers might be an amazing tank. Maybe they'll be an amazing DPS for something, right? I think they're pretty good. I don't think they're bad. Like, some people are like, oh, they're bad. No, I don't think they're bad. I think they're good. I think it's a good class. I think it's really fun to play. I just warn you with tanking, if you want to be like a main Brawler tank, you will have to be fighting the fact that your AoE taunt capability and area of effect aggro pulls are going to be challenging. It's hard. I've played it compared to my Guardian, which I main Guardian. And Guardians aren't easy to tank with, but their toolkit is insane. So Guardians, like, you have so much ability to compensate for something goes wrong in a raid or a fight, right? And you can, when you're really good at them, then you know when you have emergencies or when you need to use them, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I think Brawlers are pretty fun tanks. I think they're more good for, like, off tank of a boss or a main tank of a boss if they have the right stuff, because they're really good at single target tanking with certain things they have. It just depends, too, in the meta sometimes, because they do have... You really got to get your mitigations really high, and Guardians already have that naturally built in. And I think the Brawler does have some good stuff. Like, they have some things that can just totally reduce their damage, and I haven't played them enough to, like, have a solidness. They have something that when you turn on your metal, which is their resource, and not metal as in the material, as in, like, your metal, like punching, and, like, strength. MTT, right? Metal with an E. Metal. That. But anyway, moving on. They're really, like, they can, like, reduce your damage taken. They have something called plant their feet, which, so if it's a fight, you can really stay in one spot. Brawlers are really good because they can reduce all the damage in the circle that they make. Very, very cool stuff. So, yeah, very cool. Give me 1 second, guys, to answer your question here. Guys, give me just a second. Someone in my family needs me. Be right back. Alright. Sorry, guys. Someone in family needed me with something real quick. Alright, so anyway, hopefully I kind of answered the question on the Brawler. I think I covered that pretty thoroughly. But, I think it's a fun class. I'm going to try to play them more at 160. My goal is, since we're going to have, you know, probably 2 years of this level cap or more, is I'm going to try to learn how to play every class decently well. I really main like 4 or 5 things, and I do say this to everyone. Make sure you think about trees, because really trees make your class entirely different. So if are you going to be a tank brawler, a blue brawler, or are you going to be a DPS brawler, a red brawler? Same thing with Guardians, right? Now, Guardians, the meta is not to be a Redline Guardian. Like, I want to try to make it work at this expansion and learn it, but it is not in the meta in the past. We'll see. It really, the Guardian tank is amazing. It's one of the best tanks in the game, but their Redline, they really need a couple buffs. So, yeah. So. I'm being distracted by my family members. Oh man, sorry, I'm giggling because my family member, the window's open, and they like reached in and said something in my room. I'm like, what are you doing? You're distracting me. This cracks me up. All right. Anyway, yeah, the DPS is. I think the DPS is more meta. I think with the brawler. It just seems like it. Like having one DPS brawler seems really, really good in a raid because they have all these buffs. But a lot of the buffs they can do while they're tanking too. So this person put down a nice potted plant. Look at how nice that is. It's a very nice potted plant. Oh, and look, he's got a lamp too. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, he's even got the fancy torch. I got a torch. Mine's just not very fancy. All right. Anyway, guys. So I'll be right back in 30 minutes. We're going to be doing an event for the kinship stuff today, and I need a little bit of break so I can prep for it and get my other stream set up. But I'm gonna stream again, so if you want to hang out more and see that in 30 minutes, love to have you. Hopefully you had fun today. We answered a bunch of questions and we did some of the story, even though I definitely tend to get sidetracked.
So Barshud means to make
here's the ring I wanted. The Scholar's
then that
Ring.
Is where we too must venture.
It's not as good for the Guardian because it's tactical mastery. But it does give a lot of vitality and crit defense. It has a primary stat. So honestly, I might use it temporarily until I don't know. My crafted ring is pretty nice. It's a lot of tactical and block, but maybe I'll switch it if I'm DPSing. Get a little bit extra might instead of vitality. So Barshun means to make the Adali a max duel. That is where we must venture. Thank you for once again. Let me get rid of this thing. Thanks again, ready companions. Here is a strange land. I will make my peace here, and then venture west to Adala. If you make it where yourself find me, if you would hearten me to see you once more. I'm glad it would make you happy. That's wonderful. All right. Yeah, he's doing a little monkey back animation. All right, we're gonna keep talk to Gandalf. We'll hang on to the talk to Gandalf. We're pretty much done with this city, which is great, which means we'll basically talk to Gandalf and do that part of the story, and then I believe it's gonna send us off into the third region. So part 4 will be going slightly north into this region, which is really, really cool. It's like a dwarven region. This is kind of where I haven't quested a lot. I've only quested a tiny bit really fast right here. So it'll be kind of fun to get into that later. So we'll get there soon. Thanks to my patrons for their support. The hero of Khazad-Dum Martin, Elraandor for being Zollin's company, and Reb for being a Royal Guardian, and all my other patrons. They do the channel full time, so I appreciate that. And thank you guys for watching and being here and liking and subscribing and following, and we appreciate all the stuff that's free too. It's your time and the effort, and I appreciate that. So stay happy. Baruch Khazak Khuzad and your at your service and your families. We'll be doing more storytelling and playing his story. Again, I want to get items like this. Pretty much, I don't want to lose the block and stuff, but I can't block when I'm in my two-hander anyway. So I might just switch it because it's got crit rating, and I could give it a might humble. So I might use it while I'm in DPS. The ring is probably what I'm going to do temporarily until I get something better. The Scholar's Signet ring is really, really good though, and so is the brilliant Elven one. These are like some of the best rings in the game right now. They're 562 level. You get them by doing the parts in the stories. The ones that say part, they go along with the main chapter quests. That's why I recommend you do it. It's really, really good. So yeah, let me make sure they don't try. I don't sell it by mistake. All right, we're good. All right, with that, my friends, I'll see you very soon. Watch out for the next stream. It'll be up in a minute or two, and I'll be doing it at about 25 minutes. See you then.